while I just get started. Right, hopefully we're live now. Just getting this checked, make sure it's all working on my other device. And hopefully the internet's going to be good to me today. Awesome, so we're in. So we're here today to basically raise awareness of the species that probably don't get enough attention. You know, the species that by volume are the most oppressed and exploited species on the planet. Fish are killed and sea animals are killed in their trillions every single year. So as I've said, I've just started at the moment, just making sure everything's all working, everything's set up and ready to go, which hopefully it is. So yeah, just getting started. Thanks for joining in. Hey, so yeah, I've literally just started. So today I'm at Poole Quay down in Dorset, and basically standing outside a fishing port, a fishing harbour, where I mean, behind me you can even see all of the fishing gear that they have, but mainly to well, I guess raise awareness of the species that, yeah, I believe don't get enough attention compared to the volume of animals that are killed every single year. Fish and sea animals are killed within their trillions. So what I'm doing today, I've had a look at there's various fishing boat companies, all they sort of moor up here, and every weekend and in the week they do fishing trips. So this is the general public go out on these fishing boats, and they're basically paying to go and hunt animals. Yet when we think about animals being hunted, we often think about people on horses, you know, in the countryside hunting foxes and deer. But when we think about it for fishing, it's a slightly different perception, but it's the same concept. People are going out on boats, they're chasing and trying to lure in fish and sea animals. And so the fishing trips that are happening today, they often go out at about 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they'll go out for maybe 4 hours. Sometimes they go out for the whole day. So what I'm going to be doing here is basically hopefully capturing some of the fishing boats that are coming back in off their trip, which could be between 12 and 1:30. So I'm going to be here hopefully to try and capture some of the animals. It's almost like bearing witness at a vigil at a slaughterhouse, but this is bearing witness to the fish that are coming in. Some of them will still be alive, these fish. Some of them will be killed, and they're killed through the various different methods of killing. So fish get suffocated to death, they get blunt force trauma, they are often basically sort of cut and gutted alive, or they're put on ice. So they are literally frozen whilst they're suffocating and still conscious. And people are doing this for fun. These are people that are going and buying tickets, day passes, to go out on these fishing boats to go and kill animals. And it's totally legal, which is just absolutely baffling. Knowing the fact that, you know, fish populations are at their lowest levels, and it is at the alarming rate that scientists predict that the fish in the sea basically will all be gone by 2050. And we often talk about numbers, you know, trillions of fish every single year are killed. But each of those fish are a someone, they're an individual, just like a pet dog or a pet cat or a family member. They're all just one individual, but because of the mass scale, the volume of these animals that are being slaughtered for, in this case, this is just for fun, for entertainment. It's so unnecessary. We don't need to kill fish. We don't need to go and hunt them. We don't need to eat them. And that's why I'm basically trying to raise awareness of that today, to show hopefully the reality when the fishing boats come in. But a lot of people will know what happens when you go fishing. And like, one of the resources that I'll always recommend watching is go and watch Seaspiracy. There's a link in my description. And I learned a lot through that documentary, but also not just the fish that supposedly people eat, but the dark side of fishing that no one really understands about, the dark side and how much it's destroying the ocean, destroying the seabed, the coral, the environment, but also all the other species that are victims of the fishing industry. So these are victims in terms of bycatch that people don't really understand. The idea that someone going fishing and catching, let's say, a tuna, but by doing that you have a lot of bycatch for the animals that people claim to love and adore. So people are claiming to love dolphins, sharks and turtles, but what they don't realise in the commercial fishing industry, that all of these animals are killed when the commercial fishing catch things like tuna or cod or haddock. So by paying for the fish that people eat, you're also paying for these animals that people claim to love and want to protect. Up to 40% of commercial fishing is bycatch and basically bottom trawling, where nets go and drag along the entire seafloor, along the bottom of the ground, and they basically will take everything in its wake. And you can check this out. You can, don't take my word for it. Check out Seaspiracy, check out any sort of fishing industries and the commercial way that they're fished. You'll see exactly what happens on the seabed floor. So they will take anything in its stride. They will take dolphins, they will take turtles, they will take whatever's there. They'll take the seabed, they'll take the coral. So of all those things that people claim to protect, that happens because people are paying for the fish that people eat. But not only that, then that's very much going, trying to advocate for the animals that people claim to love and claim to try and protect, those species that are, threatening extinction. But also in terms of just the fish themselves, they are all individuals. Fish feel pain, fish have sentience, fish have social bonds and families and connections. And people are going out at their weekends just for fun to kill these fish, to hunt them, to put hooks in their mouths, to drag them out the water, to suffocate them, and to basically whack them over the head to kill them for fun. It's absolutely ridiculous. Those fish have families and they can feel pain. It is no different from doing that to any of the land animals. Just because they're in the sea, people seem to think they have less value, and that is not the case. Because it's still, if you were in their position, how would you feel? And that is why I'm here to raise awareness today. So thanks for everyone joining the chat. I've just started the stream, and thanks for the vegans in the chat as well. Really appreciate you being here. It's always good to have the support. And yeah, to answer any comments that come back in the comments stream, because yeah, there's a lot of comments that I won't see. But as always, I'll try and answer any questions that I can do. Hey, why vegan? Thanks, the wall guy, appreciate that. Hey, Joanne, good to see you. So, Jim Rat, you said we would never make it. We never would have made it through evolution if we ate plants. So, we're at where we're at today. If you're going back in the past, humans would often hunt, gather. They would eat what they can. But regardless of what happened in the past, we are in 2025. We have knowledge that we never had before. We have resources that we never had before. Look at factory farms and supermarkets. We never had them in the past when people were hunting their food. So we're talking about species of sea animals that are killed in their trillions. We are destroying the planet and we are killing innocent victims every single day. And if you don't care about that, well, I think you're heartless. If you were to put yourself in their position, how would you feel? How would you feel to have a hook in your mouth, dragged out the water, suffocated and beaten to death? But also, to answer the second part around needing fish to survive, do you really think we need to eat fish to survive? Because I can tell you that's not the case. I myself haven't eaten an animal product in over nearly 5 years. And I am thriving. You can survive throughout all forms of life, as proved by the British Dietetic Association, the American Dietetic Association, proved that a plant-based diet is adequate throughout all forms of life, from infancy to adulthood to old age. It is perfectly suitable. So you do not need to consume animal products. So therefore it becomes a choice. So you have the power of a choice now to whether you to support these industries that are killing animals, or you can choose to not exploit them. Does a Kit Kat choc contain enough dairy to cause harm? Well, I mean, chocolate involves and contains dairy products. And if you haven't seen any of my videos before, please check out the links in my description. You can go to 3minutes.wtf, or you can watch a documentary like Dominion or the Land of Hope and Glory, and you can see exactly what happens in the dairy industry. And that is exactly what you're paying for when you're buying chocolate bars. You're paying for cows to be artificially inseminated. They are raped cycle after cycle. When they give birth, their babies are taken from them, separated at birth. And if they're male, they are sent to be killed, or in the veal industry. And if they're females, they're still separated by their mothers. And they'll go through the same cycle, the same process of being impregnated and having their babies taken from them, because the milk that the cows produce for their babies is then packaged up and sold in supermarkets. And then after between 3 and 5 years, they are known as spent, they're no longer profitable, their milk production declines, and they're sent off to a slaughterhouse. So yes, going back to your point, Kit Kats and chocolate bars that contain dairy is supporting the dairy industry. So yeah, please do check out all the links in my description, specifically Seaspiracy. It's on Netflix, it's free to watch, and you can understand exactly what happens in the fishing industry. Whether you're concerned about fish species individually, whether you're concerned about the planet, whether you're concerned about the absorption of carbon dioxide into the oceans, all of this is covered in Seaspiracy. And yeah, it will completely change your life and your perception of fish and sea animals. So please do drop any questions, as always, drop them into the chat, and please do double tap the screen and like the video. It massively helps push this video out to more and more people, and please do subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, as I mentioned, we're here at basically a fishing port where people will pay money to go out and hunt animals. Why would someone do that on their weekend? I'm sure you've got better things to do than go and kill innocent animals. And by hooking them in the throat and suffocating them to death. Often these fish that come out, they're not killed straight away. Even if they do get blunt force trauma, like being hit over the head with a heavy object, they're often still conscious, and they will lie conscious for potentially a couple of hours. Imagine if that was you, laying there on a boat, unconscious, or sometimes conscious, but still living in pain, just because someone thought it would be fun to do. So, is that Meow Gang put, the dairy industry sounds awful, how can they let this happen? So yeah, please do look up the dairy industry in more detail. Watch Dominion, watch the Land of Hope and Glory, or watch the 3-minute video in my description. Like I mentioned, it's the dairy industry is a cycle of suffering, separation for the mothers, and basically killing their young if they're male. And then dairy cows are sent to a slaughterhouse about 4 years old because they're no longer profitable for that industry. So yeah, please do educate yourself on the dairy industry, and that's all happens because of supply and demand. Just like what happens with fish, just like what happens with other species, this is all supply and demand. So every time you purchase milk, dairy, yogurts, cheese, you're paying and supporting the dairy industry. Even indirectly, when you don't think so, buying chocolate bars that contain dairy, you know, Cadbury's dairy milk, you're paying directly into the dairy industry. Hey Matthew, thanks for joining. And hey Alicia as well, I think I saw your name pop up. Good to see you. Yeah, if you're able to answer any other of the questions, there's a lot coming through into the chat. Obviously I can't answer everything, so please do yeah, help me out here. Someone put, so I love cheese, so you can have vegan cheese, you can still have the same taste, the same flavors without cows being forcibly impregnated. They are raped they have their babies taken from them, and then they are sent to a slaughterhouse for cheap burgers and cheap mince. When you can still have those same flavors, those same tastes, why would you want to pay for these animals to die? Why would you want to pay for that when you have legitimate alternatives that give you the same taste sensation? Why would you want that? Someone put vegan cheese made out of, I mean, they could be made out of soy, they can maybe made out of coconut oil. You can look at all the different brands. Cathedral City in the UK is a great option. And knowing that every time that you're paying for that, you're not paying for dairy cows to be killed. But today, obviously the emphasis is around sea animals, and the big emphasis on people basically hunting wild animals, wild fish, for fun, for pleasure. People are doing that. They're going out, they're paying to go on these fishing boat trips, sometimes for a day, sometimes for 4 hours, and they're going out to literally hunt animals. But yet people are so against the hunting of animals when it's on land. People are so against fox hunting, deer hunting, hare hunting, where people ride on horseback and hounds and dogs to chase those innocent animals. Yet when we do it in the sea, far less people really care. Because even non-vegans care about hunting of animals in the land. People are so against that. Even if they consume animal products, there's still the connection there that, you know, hunting a wild animal is wrong. Yet when it's in the sea, people's perception is very different. And the idea that why should we exploit and hunt animals for sport? You can have far better things to do with your life than killing and drowning, or suffocating rather, innocent animals. And always try and give the, you know, flip the scenario, because people seem to love dogs and hate other animals apparently. Imagine a dog, maybe your pet dog, gets hooked in the mouth, and then imagine they're taken into the water and they are drowned. Imagine drowning your pet dog for fun as well, and maybe you eat them afterwards. How would you feel about that? You can't tell me that you don't eat fish and chips. I'll tell you what I did have last night. I had a vegan fish and chips made out of tofu, so tofish and chips, and a battered vegan sausage. You can have the same taste, the same foods, without animals being killed. You're weak, bro, man up. I mean, I'm here trying to stand up for animals that are being exploited and killed. What are you doing? What are you doing for animals? What are you doing for victims, innocent individuals that every single day are being killed? What are you doing for them? Yeah, thanks, Alicia. Yeah, watch Seaspiracy. There is a link in this description. Please do watch Seaspiracy, and you'll learn a lot about the fishing industry. Because again, just like other animals on land, you know, people have to speak up on behalf of these sea animals, for the fish, for the dolphins, for the turtles, for the sharks. People have to speak up for them, because otherwise they're going to keep on being killed until the oceans are empty. And if the oceans are empty, this planet is just going to collapse. But to each of those individuals, that is their life. That is their life, that you, if you eat fish and pay for, you know, fish products, you're supporting that. But genuine questions, please do put them in the chat. I will try and answer them as much as I always do, like on all my live videos. Winston, you're back. Back with the bollocks. So, I mean, you used to eat fish at university. I mean, once again, I did not go to your university, but I will agree, I used to eat fish, 100%, just like I used to eat other animal products. You know, we aren't all born vegan. We aren't all born in the system, because we are conditioned to what is the norm in society. But I had the realization, I watched a documentary about what happens to animals, and I realized that I myself are an animal lover. And you can't be an animal lover if you're paying for them to be killed. You can't do it. It doesn't make sense. So I made the decision nearly 5 years ago to become vegan. And now I'm standing up and speaking up for those animals as an activist, to get more people to do the same. Because you can't be an animal lover and pay for their flesh and body parts, and pay for them pay for fish to be suffocated to death. So, comment from Blake, are you saying to completely not eat meats? 100%. We do not need to consume any animal products. We do not need to pay for their body parts and for their flesh to survive. We do not need it. We have, many vegans in this chat are fully living proof that we don't need to consume animal products to survive. So Master Pipe, you put, I catch my own fish. So you yourself are a hunter. You yourself are going out of your way to hunt fish when you don't need to. Why would you do that? Why would you willingly want to put fish through pain and suffering? What do you get out of that? Someone put, animal protein is great for you. All protein comes from plants. Animals eat the plants and people then consume the animals. All the protein comes from plants in the first place. But also what comes with those animal products is all the saturated fats and cholesterol as well, if you're concerned from a health perspective. Yeah, why vegans just put, right, we have a lot of options in vegan, 100%. We're in 2025 now. Vegan food is all around us. Most people, when you think of vegan food, you might think, oh, it's some weird food or whatever. Most people would eat pasta and bread and chips and all of those things that are naturally vegan. All we're saying is don't consume animal products. It's quite simple. Do you eat veg? Yes, 100%. Eat veg, fruits, beans, legumes, a whole food plant-based diet. And that is, as I've mentioned earlier, as proven by the British Dietetic Association, the American Dietetic Association, sufficient for thriving throughout all forms of life, from infancy to adulthood to old age. So when we know we can eat plants and it's healthy for us and we're saving animals' lives, why would you then still want to, out of choice, out of not a necessity, pay for animals to be killed? But India has vegan food options. I mean, vegan food options all around the world. You can get vegan food wherever. You can eat plants wherever you are. But also a lot of people aren't going to be in some rural area, going to have access to supermarkets and restaurants and cafes where you have that choice. And if you have that choice, why would you not make the choice for a compassionate one? Yeah, exactly. You can get more protein from eating tofu, seitan. You're getting second-hand protein. You can thrive on whole food, plant-based. Yeah, exactly. So tofu, tempeh, seitan, very high, nutritious, protein-dense plant foods. In the same way that people think that by eating fish you're getting omegas. But again, fish are just the middlemen in that situation, when you can get the omegas directly from the source, like the algae. So what's your excuse? What's your excuse when you know it's a choice, when you know it is not a necessity? What is your excuse for wanting to intentionally harm an animal? Why would you intentionally want to do that? Is it just because you don't know? Is it because you don't see the reality? Is it because you're not holding the knife or the hammer yourself? And if that is the case, please, again, I don't get anything from this, in terms of giving you the resources. Like, these resources are free to use. Please go to this video description, hit the 3 dots, go to description, watch the 3-minute movie challenge, watch Seaspiracy. I mean, that 3 minutes.wtf is literally just a 3-minute movie. If you can watch this live stream, you can go and watch a 3-minute movie. And you can see exactly for yourself, you can see what happens to these animals. So Rain put, there's no excuse, they just lack empathy. Yeah, and it's often that people don't realize what they're doing, but until someone actually now, like myself, is telling you exactly, this is what you're contributing to. Waking people up to realize and making the connection between the animals that we're consuming to actually what actually happens in that process. What is happening when we're consuming an animal? We're taking their life from them. For the fish, we're suffocating them to death. When we know it's unnecessary, when we know we have the knowledge now that we can eat plant-based foods, we have no excuse to consume animal products. So someone needs to wake you up, and maybe this is your wake-up call. Maybe this is the first time someone's really challenged you on that. Maybe it's the first time you're even hearing a vegan talking. Some people have friends and families that are vegan. Some people don't know any vegans. But all vegans are some people that respect animals and truly respect them without being hypocritical. Because you can't be an animal lover, you can't respect them if you pay for their body parts, if you're paying to suffocate fish. So I'm just put, what about eggs? So the egg industry, just like the dairy industry, is absolutely horrendous. Please look it up. Look up what happens in the egg industry. But I can tell you that in the egg industry, so female hens produce dozens and dozens of times more eggs because they're genetically bred to basically pop out eggs far, far, far more than what is naturally for them. But not only that, is obviously those eggs, some of them, the eggs that hatch, if they're females, they'll go through that same cycle of being genetically bred, kept in basically cages where they produce eggs. But if those eggs hatch and they're male, they are killed on their first day of life. They are killed if they hatch a male. They are put into a macerator or gassed to death because male chicks are of no use to the egg industry. Someone's put massive inequality in the UK and you're protesting fish. I mean, what bigger inequality and oppression than trillions of fish and sea animals being killed every year? What greater oppression is there than that? Just eat local eggs then? No, that's local eggs, factory farmed eggs is still the same concept. So a chicken laying an egg is like a human giving birth. You know, you're taking something from them, taking something that isn't yours. And we need to stop this mindset of having to exploit animals for no reason. Because yeah, the oppression of fish are killed in their trillions every single year. Some fish and sea animals that people care about, and some that don't. You know, people seem to care about dolphins, they care about turtles, they care about sharks. Yet when you're paying for things like tuna and paying for commercial fishing industries, you're paying for them to also be killed. You're paying for thousands and thousands of dolphins and sharks and turtles to be killed every single year as bycatch. Up to 40% of the commercial fishing industry and bottom trawling is bycatch. So if you really care about some of those animals, you would stop eating fish. You know, and I can show you also what's around at the moment. So let me just flip that around. So obviously behind me here, we've got all of these. Basically, this is how they would capture like lobsters, crabs. And you can see the state of some of this stuff. All of this netting, this is killing more and more animals. This is killing dozens of wild fish. This is killing seabirds, where turtles and other animals are getting caught in these fishing nets. So please do watch Seaspiracy. The link is in the video description. This guy values animal life over human life. You're not better than dog lovers who don't give a fuck about other animals. Right. I'm speaking up for the billions and trillions of animals that are being killed every single year and exploited for the sake of unnecessary means. What greater oppression is there than that? For people need to stand up and speak up for these animals that are at the moment being exploited and oppressed. Yeah, and Matthew put sharks being dragged out of the ocean for their fins and thrown back into the oceans. Yeah, if you look at, I think it's in Japan, they have shark fin tuna. But also you raise an interesting point about throwing them back in. So even on fishing trips like the fishing trips that come out today, the fish that may get hooked and thrown back, they often will end up dying. They go through suffering, they go through emotional and physical pain, and often they will end up dying back in the sea. to even catch and release is just, you know, and again, imagine if it was your dog. Imagine if it was your dog being hooked in the throat and drowned in the water. That's going to go through a lot of pain and suffering just in that process, whether you leave them to drown and eat them afterwards or not. So what excuse do you have? What excuse do you have for wanting to kill these innocent creatures, these innocent beings, these wonderful animals? Fish don't have nerve ending in their lips. Fish have pain receptors, they are sentient, they have friends, they have families, they have social bonds and connections. Imagine if you were in their position, would you like it if you had a hook in your mouth and you were dragged out of the sea and then beaten to death or left to suffocate or put on ice? Genuine questions, please do put them in the comments. You know, if you're curious, if this is the first time you hear someone challenging the fishing industry, please do put your comments in the chat and I'll try and answer them. And like Matthew and others are already in the chat. But how are fish sentient? Well, they feel pain, they feel emotions, they create social bonds. They are sentient people that have pain receptors. So, you know, fish, just like, you know, land animals, like chickens, like pigs, they all feel pain and they all want to live. Just put your cues further up. So, okay, I've just scrolled up, Bebop. So, overall problem is that we have mass starvation. Oops, whoa. Sorry, I just clicked away. Is we have mass starvation around the world, taking animals away suddenly, that zero industry. So, 2 comments here. Firstly, that wouldn't happen in a day. As much as we liked the oppression to stop straight away, it will be a sudden, it will be a gradual change. It's all supply and demand. So over time, as the demand for these products reduces, the supply reduces. Less and less animals are being killed, enslaved and oppressed, until we get to a point where basically animals will stop being killed and oppressed and they'll live in sanctuaries. But when you're talking about the food industry and starvation, how is it that we can feed 92 billion land animals, yet struggle to feed 8 billion humans? Let that sink in. How do we struggle to feed 8 billion humans when we're feeding 92 billion land animals? So, if we were to stop breeding, enslaving, and feeding animals on land, we could rewild up to 75% of the arable farmland in the world. Imagine rewilding 3/4 of the arable farm on this planet. We'd have far more crops to grow directly to humans than we would to feed animals, because we forget how many crops we're feeding. 92 billion land animals, all those crops being basically grown as animal feed. It's such an inefficient system when we could just consume plant products ourselves and have land left over. Comment here, cutting down the rainforest to plant soya. And do you know where 90% of that soya goes? It's not to humans. Humans only consume about 7 or 8% of all the soya grown. The rest, animal feed, animal agriculture. That is the #1 cause of deforestation in the world. There's a comment here, do vegans drink alcohol? Some vegans do. There's a website called Barnivore, and you can basically put in the alcohol products that you want to know if they're vegan or not, because sometimes they use animal products in the process and in the ingredients of alcohol. So often they'll use things like fish bladders and fish guts called isinglass to basically filter out alcohol and sediment. Comment here, stop trying to pander to people's emotions by saying that we're hurting the fish's feelings by catching them. Okay, if you were in the fish's position, how would you feel? How would you feel if I was to hook you in the mouth and suffocate you to death? It's not playing on emotions, it's raising awareness of the reality that's happening to these animals, and that you don't need to consume animal products. You don't need to kill them for fun, just for fishing, just for a laugh. You don't need to do that. So as I said, please do watch Seaspiracy. The link is in this video description. It's on Netflix. It's completely free to watch. And if you only have, you know, a couple of minutes and you don't have maybe an hour to watch the Netflix documentary, watch it later. But go to 3minutes.wtf. Again, the link is in the description. Go to 3minutes.wtf and you can see exactly what happens to animals that I've mentioned. So many comments, you know, I'm seeing quite a lot come through, and it's all about this whataboutism. How can I deflect the issue that I'm talking about onto something else? You know, you talk about phones, talk about clothes or jewelry. Again, you're going, oh, you're trying to deflect the attention away from the matter that I'm bringing up today. You're trying to deflect away from the trillions of fish that are being killed every single year. So, genuine question, what's your opinion on animals killing other animals due to natural instincts? So, we're, okay, talk about animals maybe in the wild that kill other animals. They are not subject to human exploitation. They're not subject to humans using them, enslaving them, breeding them, and consuming them, and killing them when they're babies. Chickens are 42 days old, they're 6 weeks old. Pigs are 6 months old when they're loaded into CO2 gas chambers. Lambs, they're 6 months old when they're shot in the head and have their throat sliced. What we do to animals has nothing to do with other animals consuming other animals in their natural environments. We have created such an unnatural environment for all of these animals. And also, you talk about other animals eating other animals, but we can talk about animals that don't consume other animals, herbivorous animals. Plenty of animals that are wild and out there in the animal kingdom are herbivorous. They thrive off plants. And actually the biggest, strongest and oldest animals in the world are plant-based. They're herbivores, they're herbivorous. But stop killing the insects. I agree, we should stop killing the insects. And you know what's killing the insects lots? It's animal agriculture. All the insects killed when we're producing feed for animals and then killing the animals. So again, look at where we are. We're in 2025. We have evolved as a species. You know, we have created all of this society around us. We have created supermarkets. We've also created factory farms. We've created things that we didn't have, you know, years and years and years ago. We're in a position now where we have knowledge and we have choices. And when we have knowledge and choices, we have moral agency to make surely more ethical considerations and decisions. Just because you're vegan doesn't mean you have the right to tell others how to eat. Doesn't mean you have the right to kill animals for no reason. People always say that about vegans telling others what to do, and people should have their own choice. What about the animal's choice? What about the cow that you're killing for a burger? What about the pigs that you're killing for bacon or sausages? Do they get a choice? Do you listen to them? Do you ask them, oh, is it okay to kill you first? No. We have to speak up for them. It's good protein. Plants contain all essential amino acids. All protein comes from plants. Animals consume the plant protein and people consume the animals. Again, second-hand protein, along with packaged goods of saturated fats and cholesterol and all the nasty, nasty foods and antibiotics. By the way, antibiotics put into animal feed, you're consuming that as well. You're literally stood there wearing products that have killed animals in the process. Go on, enlighten me, enlighten me. Again, it's this whataboutism. People just trying to deflect and detract away from the topic. People trying to get away from the topic that I'm talking about today, which, I mean, is always going to be talking about all of the animals, but specifically at a fishing port to raise awareness of what is happening to fish and sea animals. Wise Eyes, yeah. Bill the bully bastard picking on animals and animal lovers, yeah. Vegans get so much hate when all vegans are people that respect animals. You act morally superior. I act with a conscience. I act with empathy for animals. And other people, most people on these comments on this chat, act with ignorance and trying to deflect away from the fact that we have a personal accountability for these animals. When we're paying and making choices, we're paying for either animals to live or animals to die. No, it's not hate. Why can't you guys say humans are, we're all animals, 100%. Obviously, when I'm referring to animals, I'm referring to non-human animals, the animals that are exploited, enslaved, and killed as babies. They're the animals that I'm speaking up for. Can you stop lions, tigers, crocodiles eating animals? Can you stop hippos and rhinos from eating plants? Such a redundant comment. And also, like, I'll tell you again, like, the fact that I wasn't vegan all my life. Only 5 years ago, I watched a documentary and I made that connection. I saw what happens to animals, and from that moment onwards, I didn't want to contribute to that industry anymore. So things, you know, you could keep commenting about my gold chain. I've had this well before I was vegan, well before I had my eyes open to exploitation and suffering and realizing that we as individuals can do something about it. Because we have to stand up for these animals, because not many people will. You still eat meat, bro, stop lying. I mean, I'm definitely not lying. And the fact that you can get so many vegan alternatives now, you can get vegan options of any of the meat products out there. You can get vegan sausages, vegan bacon, vegan burgers, vegan fish. You can get vegan options of everything. And all you have to do is align your values and your morals to being, are you wanting to defend animals, or are you wanting to force them into slaughterhouses, gas chambers, and having them suffocate and drown, suffocate and killed? Someone put more expensive. It's not more expensive. Any diet that you can choose can be more expensive, or it can be cheaper. That comes down to the food that you eat. So when we're talking, there was a study about someone that bought plant-based foods versus a meat eating. They did a weekly food shop and showed that the plant-based eater, their food shop was 30% cheaper. Again, like, if you, as a meat eater, you can choose a really expensive steak, or you can buy a cheap steak. And that's the same for vegan food and plant-based foods. You can get expensive items, or you can get cheap items. Definitely doing that, guys, and they're fishing. Well, good. You know, that's why I'm here. There's a lot of people around, and that's why I'm standing up and speaking up for these animals. So where's the compassion? All these people putting trolling comments in, like, where is your compassion? Do you have any? Do you have any empathy? Yeah, exactly, Matthew. But whole food plant-based diet is cheaper, and you can thrive and reverse health issues and diabetes. So yeah, there's a documentary called, I think it's What the Health on Netflix again, another free documentary. It, you know, it looks into depth at animal products and plant-based products, and yeah, you can see the facts and the health benefits from that documentary. There it is, the bees comment, the bees comment. Again, if you haven't seen the bees avocados comment, please do watch Joey Carbstrong versus Piers Morgan. Just type in Piers Morgan, Joey Carbstrong, bees on YouTube, and you can see that whole debate. You know, it's something that we get far too often. And if you really care about bees, stop eating honey. Again, whataboutism? So much whataboutism. You're not accepting the fact you're destroying the environment. I'm here to speak up for animals. And do you know what's destroying the environment? It's the fishing industry. Because if our ocean loses the fish species and all of the life in the sea that absorbs 4 times more carbon dioxide than the forests in the world, we need the ocean to survive. It's the biggest carbon sink. Yeah, comment. Bill is comparing electronics to animals. And it's interesting, because that's clearly how you're seeing these animals. You're just seeing them as an object, as an item. They are individuals. They are a person. They have the ability to feel pain, to have suffering. Just like these fish being dragged out and suffocated. Plants have lives too, right? Why are you eating them? Plants are not sentient. They don't have pain receptors. They don't have central nervous systems. They don't feel pain. But even if they did, that's still a reason to be vegan, because all of the plants that are grown to feed animals in animal agriculture. People need to wake up. Have some compassion. You can be kind to animals. Comment here, you can tell he's never had struggle in his life. I'll tell you who has struggles in their life. All of the animals that are being forced into gas chambers at 6 months old because people are too ignorant and they don't want to pay for kinder options of food. People that pay for sausages and bacon are forcing pigs into gas chambers at 6 months old. They have a struggle. Come there, says you vegan. Yes, vegan for nearly 5 years now after watching a documentary called Earthlings, and you can watch a similar documentary. There's a link in the description to the 3-minute movie challenge, which is just 3 minutes. You can watch that clip, or you can watch a full-length documentary like The Land of Hope and Glory, Earthlings or Dominion, and you can see exactly the reason why I went vegan myself and why like many other vegans that I know also went vegan for this reason. Pigs like being eaten. How would you feel? How would you feel if someone was to eat you and say, oh, well, they like being eaten? How would you feel? Read my comment. Sorry, there's a lot of comments coming through, so it's hard to see them, but as I see them when they come through, I'll try and respond to them, so you might need to post it again. Comment, just because of your stream, I shall eat a chicken today. So you will force a chicken at 6 weeks old, 42 days old, you're going to force a chicken into a gas chamber for the sake of a meal. Have you ever stood outside a slaughterhouse and seen those chickens on crates and crates on these trucks that go through? You can check out on I did a live stream there, you can check out that old stream. I often put videos up. Just imagine if you were in their position. Imagine you're with your friends and your family and you're put into a gas chamber to be killed. How would you feel? But there are so many fish, do you think we're going to run off? Yes, because many species are becoming extinct, and I think 90% of the fish populations are depleted. And that's why scientists predict that the oceans could be empty by 2050. And if we do, that's game over. That's game over for the planet. People that are saying that, you know, they're tasty or, you know, they like it, watch a documentary, because you clearly don't understand what these animals go through. So yeah, I'm at, for those that have just recently joined, I'm at a fishing harbour, and in potentially about 20 minutes there should be some fishing boats coming in. So people are paying to go onto fishing boats willingly, just because they have nothing better to do at the weekend, to go and hunt animals. They're going there to hunt and kill fish. And this is no different than people that complain about fox hunting, deer hunting, hare hunting. People seem to care about fox hunting and people think it should be illegal. Yet when it's sea animals, people don't seem to care. People don't care that the fact that people are going in with hooks, rods, they're dragging fish from their natural habitats, and then they're suffocating them to death. They're putting them on ice, they're whacking them with a hammer or a heavy object, or they're gutting them alive. People seem to not care about them, but you care about foxes. So what's your excuse? Why would you not want to be kind to these animals? Why would you want to purposefully want to kill them? What do you get from that? Someone just put, may I ask if you have a dog? No, I don't, but imagine if you have a dog. Anyone in this live chat, imagine if you have a dog and someone was to hook that dog in the jaw, in the throat, in the cheek, and then being dragged into the sea, dragged into the ocean, and then drowned to death. Imagine that was your dog being drowned to death, because that is the same as what a fish experiences when they're dragged out of there and they're suffocated here. Someone put, we don't eat dogs. Some people do. China, Korea, they eat dogs. And the idea that we don't need to eat any animals, we don't need to consume them, we don't need to exploit them, we don't need to have this idea that how can an animal benefit us? So why would you not want to be kind? Do you have any kindness? Would you let your dog eat meat, or is it going to be vegan? So I often get this question. Please do look up Dr. Andrew Knight. He has done countless studies on dogs and cats on plant-based diets, essentially. So please do look at his research, and it shows that dogs can thrive off plant-based diets. And I know many other people that feed their dogs plant-based diets. Their health is improved, their longevity, and all of their health indicators have improved from being on a plant-based diet. So you know that you can feed your dogs not other dead animal flesh, you can feed them plants instead. So yeah, that's Dr. Andrew Knight. You can check out his research. And yeah, you might learn something from it, as well as watching the 3-minute movie that's in the video description. And if you haven't already, please do just double tap the screen, like this video. It massively helps put this video out to more people. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do lots of live streams. And for those that are more curious, I'm often stood outside a slaughterhouse, bearing witness to animals going in on trucks. So if you want to see that, you know, I'll be doing more live streams very, very soon. So you can see exactly what happens to those animals. You can see the fear in the cow's eyes and the sheep's eyes and the chicken's eyes before they're sliced by the throat, shot in the head, and have their neck sliced open. All right, so I've just skipped to the bottom of the chat. So as I said, any questions, please do put them in. You know, sensible questions I will respond to. And yeah, if there's any other vegans in the chat, please do try and respond to the other questions that you get. I mean, the fact that I'm literally getting caught up in this fishing net, it literally proves the point of how much of this fishing gear is killing the fish in the sea and other species. You know, turtles, seabirds, are all getting caught in all this fishing, this discarded fishing gear. So, but let people fish. Let people kill animals. Let people suffocate fish. Imagine if it was, let people punch that dog. Let people be racist. How would you feel then when the context and the situation changes? So here's a fishing boat coming in now. Just seeing where they're going to moor up. So a lot of the fishing boats will come in behind. If I just flip the camera around, you'll see there's a whole harbour here where many of the fishing boats dock up. And they all have separate mooring bays. It's 1:45, so there's a couple of trips that were scheduled to come in at 1 and potentially 1:30. But yeah, if there's any vegans in the chat, please do respond to some of these comments. Just going to see where that boat goes and where the people coming off go as well. See if I can go and speak to them, I will. Obviously, I've got all my stuff here now. This is the trouble doing it just when you're on your own, that you don't have, yeah, you've got to kind of be nimble at the same time. So I'm going to put, Emma, I want to see you confront them. What would you like me to ask them? What would you do? What would you ask them? It's going all the way down the other end of the quay by the looks of it. You're just going to get timed out if you spam. I think people should have learned by now. Yeah, that boat's not coming anywhere near here. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera. No, probably not. So the way that this marina is structured, it goes all the way down. You've got a fishing port marina right in front of me here. You've then got basically boats, sailing boats, yachts, motorboats, and then further down you have this entire channel that goes right down the end of the quay, and you get to like the factories, and some of those fishing boats will go right down to the other end, which is why it's hard to predict. But right here is where all the fishing companies are based. So this is where you go and buy your tickets. This is where you'll get on the boats. So this is where I would expect them to come in. Especially there's right behind me there is, let me just tilt it slightly. There's a platform just here, and this is usually where they do the onboarding. So yeah, let's see when the others come in. That might have not have even been a fishing boat, to be fair. They do have a lot of boat trips that come around here that do get picked up further down. They do trips to the island that's just off the quay here, like sightseeing trips where they don't kill animals. Well, you ain't going to say nothing to them. I mean, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I do speak to people. I confront people on the streets. I have live debates. Yeah, you know, I'm happy to talk to them. It's just getting them in the right place and seeing what victims they've killed. Get him who loves animals. It's funny, isn't it? Just getting absolutely attacked for trying to speak up for animals being killed. Imagine that. Imagine getting attacked and hated just for trying to speak up for victims getting forced into gas chambers and getting drowned to death. The problems in England facing, and you're going out to fishermen earning a living. This isn't fishermen earning a living, this is the public going out on a fishing trip to hunt animals for fun. This is just what they do with their weekends. This isn't about them surviving for a job. This is about them going out and just doing it for fun, killing animals for fun. So that's why I'm speaking up today, because not many people may realise that the people are literally going out and killing animals for fun. Make them make that connection with, if it was on land, it would have a very, very different perception. You know, if your friends or family were just like, oh, I'm going to go fox hunting today, how would you feel about that? Someone put, don't hate you, just that there's children dying from starvation every day. So as I mentioned earlier, if we all ate, we'd be able to feed the planet. We currently feed 92 billion land animals, but struggle to feed 8 billion humans. So if we stopped farming animals and used that space to grow crops to feed to humans, we wouldn't have starvation issues. But how many years vegan? So I'm about nearly 4.5, nearly 5 years vegan. And it was after watching a documentary called Earthlings, and it just, yeah, it opened my eyes, changed my life, and realised that I am an animal lover, and I believe that. And only until that connection was made with, I can't be an animal lover and pay for animals to die, so it would be hypocritical. Yeah, so Almo, there's a link in the video description to, there's a 3-minute movie you can watch at 3 minutes. If not, if you go to my link tree, you can basically go and watch The Land of Hope and Glory. That shows you exactly what happens in the UK, if you're UK specific, or watch Dominion. It's completely free to watch on YouTube. They're all similar documentaries. So Jasmine is the girl. Do you think we all shouldn't eat meat? 100%, we should not. And the idea of, do you think we should eat meat? We shouldn't exploit and kill animals when we don't need to. I've stood outside multiple slaughterhouses and watched these animals go in on trucks. I've seen baby cows, baby sheep, baby chickens, all go in on trucks to slaughterhouses. Cows that are going to have their throats sliced open, a shot in the head. Chickens that are going to be forced into gas chambers. Pigs that are going to be forced into gas chambers. Do you really understand that if we didn't eat, we would overrun by animals? So animals are bred into existence. They are bred in farms purely because they're going to be killed. It's all supply and demand. If we stop demanding these animals, they will stop being bred in society. And knowing that we have those choices to be compassionate, you can stop animals from being bred into society. Baby chicken, baby, this training is hard as pulling your heartstrings. It's not pulling on heartstrings, and hopefully it does, but it's factually correct. Chickens are 6 weeks old. 6 weeks old. So if that's not a baby, then I don't know what is. Do you realise that some animals eat animals? Yes, and do you realise that some animals don't eat animals? We're not lions, we're not tigers. Look at hippos, look at rhinos, look at herbivorous animals. But knowing that just because animals eat other animals in the wild, that has nothing to do with what we do to animals in society as humans, breeding them, enslaving them, and forcing them into gas chambers. We don't do that. And I think if you watch that video in my video description, watch the 3-minute video, you can see exactly what I've seen and what many others have seen, and maybe your perception will change. Knowing that we don't need to consume animals, we don't need to purchase their body parts to survive. But damn, they use gas chambers there for animals. Yes, so pigs at 6 months old are forced into CO2 gas chambers where they will burn from the insides, they will suffocate, their eyes will burn, their lungs will burn until they die. And that is the same for chickens as well. And you can look this up as well. It's over 90% of pigs in the UK are killed by gas chambers. So what questions do you have about being vegan? What questions do you have about being kind to animals? What's stopping you from being kind, and what's stopping you from watching that documentary? We can just leave animals alone. We can not exploit them. We can be kind to them. Nope, chicken is processed by removing the head, asking and working from them. I mean, I don't know where you're based, but the 2 chicken slaughterhouses that I've been to and know of that are local, they gas them. They stay in their crates. They arrive on trucks, these big yellow crates, and I've seen this for myself. They go onto a weighing platform. Because of the volume, they don't count the chickens individually. They do it by weight. Just put animal, because it's interesting. You're now saying animals deserve rights, and us humans are animals. So if animals deserve rights, surely they deserve to live. Because I'm an animal rights activist. So I completely agree that they deserve rights, and their rights should be that they shouldn't be bred, enslaved, and forced into gas chambers and suffocated to death. Someone put they aren't suffocated. So, I mean, I don't know what animals you're referring to, but fish suffocate when they're dragged out of the water. Animals suffocate to death when they are being gassed to death. So you put many of us humans getting injured and killed as well by other humans. Yep, that's also going on in society. We're talking about the millions and billions and trillions of animals that are being forced to be killed, whether they're in gas chambers and slaughterhouses, or whether they're being fish being dragged out of the sea, being hooked in their mouths, left to suffocate to death, blunt force trauma, being hit by a heavy object, gutted alive, or put on ice, where they're still conscious and they're suffering on ice until they die. These are the trillions of animals that I'm speaking up for. And as I said before, imagine if it was your dog. Imagine your dog had a hook in their throat. And imagine that dog is getting drowned in the sea, drowned to death. How would you feel? All for fun as well. Imagine people who were paying to go out on boats to go and drown dogs. How would you feel? So I put make lions vegan, classic lions chat, make hippos and rhinos not herbivorous. Loving the comments from Halal, it's making me laugh. Lady, get him, he loves animals. I know, it's such a crime, isn't it? Such a crime for people to stand up for animals being killed. Such a crime. Why would they be on a boat for dogs? I was telling you, I was making a comparison if you weren't tuned in. So imagine if it was your dog being dragged into the water and drowned. That's how the fish, it's the same situation, but that's what happens to the fish. So yeah, people are paying to go out on fishing boats to kill fish. Imagine if it was people going out on boats to go and kill dogs, to go and drown dogs. How would you feel about that? And again, this is all happening. These are hunters of fish. These are hunters of animals. Yet people are so against that when it's about fox hunting, deer hunting, hare hunting. So many people are against the idea of people going out and hunting foxes. Yet when it's the animals in the sea, people don't seem to care. Some people, we eat fish, we don't eat dogs, but yeah, but some people do. Some people do. Some people in Korea and China, they eat dogs. And why would you think that's wrong? Why is it wrong to eat one animal and be kind to another? How would you feel if you were in their situation? How would you feel if you were in their position? Caught in nets, hooked in the jaw, suffocated to death? Watch Seaspiracy, watch the video in this video description. It's completely free to do. Hit the 3 dots and go and watch it. Or go and watch the 3-minute movie challenge as well. It's in the video description. It's completely free. And see the truth for yourself. You don't have to just listen to a guy talking on a screen. Go and watch something for yourself. You can't compare dogs to fish. Why not? Why can't you? They're both animals. They both have sentience. They both feel pain. They both have social bonds with their species. What difference does it make? Go and watch a video. Go and watch the 3-minute movie challenge. Go and watch it, 3minutes.wtf. The link's in the description. If you've got time to be on this stream, you've got time to go and watch a 3-minute movie. And here's a fishing boat coming in. So let's see what we can do. So there's a fishing boat coming in now. Here's the murderers, the hunters. So the fishing boat's just pulling up now. I'm just getting some leaflets out as well. I'm not going to go out to them now, am I? X-War, you are making me laugh with your ridiculous comments. Yeah, I'm just going to go and jump on it whilst the boat's still moving. God didn't say don't kill fish. I mean, how would Jesus kill an animal? How would Jesus kill an animal? Right, So they're going to come up this ramp most likely.
I'm not going to throw myself in. No, today anyway. Yeah, no problem. But, she looks at the shore. Yeah, that's what I said to her. I said all this. But she normally sees
Which way are they going to come through? Don't know if they're going to go left or right here, so this could be interesting. Let's put it up here. Bucky, get him, he loves animals. Right, coming up now. You know, I'm not here to, you know, properly get their backs up straight away. I'd like to have a better conversation with them. So I'm just going to see which way they come out of this tunnel, because they might be going left or right. Right, so it looks like it's this way. Let's get them. How many fish did you kill today?
How many fish? Oh, fuck off.
How many
You're
fish
one
did
of
you
them idiots, are you? Come on, fuck off. What are you doing here?
Imagine, right? Do you have a pet dog? Do you have a pet dog?
Don't give
Do you
me
have a
that
pet? Do you have a
shit.
pet dog?
Fuck off.
Do you
and
have a
get
pet
real
dog?
job.
You get a
Come
real
on.
job.
Fuck
It's a
off.
Sunday.
You're pathetic.
Do you really like going out
You're
and hunting
actually doing
animals?
That shit. Mate,
Take that.
what are you saying?
Take that. Go on.
Fuck off.
Wow, you've just littered. Well done. See how triggered you get? So triggered. Imagine it was your dog, right? Imagine it was your dog. You're the loser going out and hunting innocent animals. Don't what? Don't speak up for the victims that you're killing. What have you been doing today? What have you been doing on that boat?
What have I been doing?
Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
You're pathetic.
Don't fucking touch me. You're live as well. I'm live streaming all of this.
Good. Yeah, happy days.
Yeah, you're not going to touch me now, are you?
Of course I'm not.
No. Funny
No,
that.
fucking
When the
silly.
camera's pointing, you're not going to touch me, are you?
No.
No. You want to take one and actually read it, not throw it away?
No, I don't.
Imagine it was your dog.
pathetic,
Imagine it was
mate.
your dog being drowned in that water, right? Yeah, look, you're just going to turn around because you can't have a conversation.
I can have a conversation.
Yeah.
I'd just rather knock you out, but I can't.
You'd
do
rather
that.
knock me out,
Yeah,
right?
I would, yeah.
Brilliant. You've
Because
just
you're
you're
pathetic.
admitting to assault. You're wanting to assault me on a fucking live stream. All you can do is be kind. You can be kind to animals.
Well, I'm on camera, so I can't knock you out.
Yeah, you're on camera. So all them and the people in the chat saying I'm not going to confront them. There's an answer for you. Guy wanted to, what you didn't see on the camera before I turned it round, he grabbed my head, tried to grab my hat, looked like he was going to take a swing at me as well. These are bullies, hunting bullies that get their backs up so quickly. All you're trying to do is stand up for animals. 10 of them at least all trying to surround me, trying to intimidate me, just for speaking up for these animals. And the fact that all I'm saying is being kind, and he's saying he wants to knock me out, saying he wants to assault me, live on camera. In a way, I wish I'd told him he wasn't live on camera, because then he probably would have captured it, would have captured him assaulting me. Fucking disgusting people. People are so triggered. So triggered. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. These are the hunters, and they act exactly in the same way that people do when they hunt foxes. They act exactly the same. Right, just get settled back into the spot that I was in. Apologies for whatever I've missed. I'll try and catch up in a minute. But yeah, that was all captured live. I don't know how much you saw of what just happened there. Obviously it was hard because they're all moving around, trying to capture exactly what they were doing. Hey Jasmine, hey Jake, how much of that did you see? Did you see him trying to try and swipe at me? Did you see him try and grab my hat? so defensive, so defensive. You think you're going to say to someone, how many fish did you kill? Have you ever been diagnosed with anything? You know, there's always, you know, when people are coming off a fishing trip and someone's going to ask you about the fish that they've killed, it's probably never going to go in a way that you'd hope it to go, you know, in reality, because they're coming, it's like if you go into people that fox hunt, you can say, how many foxes did you kill today? You're never going to get a productive conversation. But what it does show is their true colours. It shows you exactly, it shows you exactly how they respond to this. Oh damn, so the camera didn't get it. Yeah, I mean, I tried turning the camera around just so you could see, but yeah, this was, obviously threw that leaflet away, tried grabbing my hat, and then said he wanted to, I can't remember his phrasing, knock me out, I think it was. All just for asking how many fish did they kill? How many lives did they take? Just asking them a simple question, how many lives did you take? And he wants to be violent. This is a vile industry that causes people to be violent towards an individual that's just trying to speak up for these animals. Yeah, he said he'd rather knock you out. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And you know, what you didn't see was probably all the other people around. 2 of them had to come over and take him away, but at the end of the day, you know, 10 people come off a fishing trip and they want to be violent. Taking a photo of the boat. So that boat was out of the blue. So the brand Sea Fishing Pool, out of the blue. Disgusting people. And I knew they'd turn up around 1 o'clock, as I said. They come off their 4-hour fishing trip. And they come out triggered. They come out foaming at the mouth. Because I'm asking them to be kind. But yeah, appreciate Jake and Jasmine being on and hopefully answering some of the questions in the chat. Yeah, as I completely missed everything for the last 10-20 minutes or so. But you can be kind. Why can't people just be kind? Why do people have to get so aggressive and violent for people just standing up and asking people to be kind? And all I was trying to do there before was obviously he was not trying to listen to me. I wanted to say, how would you feel if it was your dog? And every time I say that, he didn't want to answer the question, he just want to walk away. But it's true. What if it was your dog? What if it was your dog in that situation? What if it was your dog being drowned in the sea? How would you respond to that then? And that was a question you didn't answer. They have such a stereotype, don't they? Instantly, as soon as I mentioned that and had a leaflet, oh, you're one of them, you're one of them. Yeah, one of those people that have kindness towards animals. People need to wake up. People need to watch what happens to animals and realize that we don't need to consume them. We don't need to hunt them. And they feel, oh, those fishermen, those hunters, they then thrive off, you know, intimidation. 10 of them and just 1 of me. And they still think that they can try and cause violence, because the violence doesn't stop there. The violence doesn't stop just from them killing the fish, because if people are violently doing that, if you've just spent time on a boat battering a fish to death, you're going to have violence in you. You're going to have that non-compassion. If that's what people can do to animals and not blink an eye, that's why people get so aggressive and so violent just for being questioned about what you're doing. Imagine this, right? Imagine I was stood outside a field of carrots. And imagine someone had just been carrot picking. And I was stood at the entrance. And then imagine I say to someone who just picked carrots, how many carrots did you pick? I wonder what the response would have been like. Would the response have been, oh, yeah, I've, you know, whatever how many they got, maybe they're, oh yeah, I've just picked 10 carrots. Thanks for asking. Or would it have been, oh, I'm gonna fight you and I'll knock you out for asking how many carrots you've picked? I don't think it would be that option. And that just shows you the difference of people and what we're doing. And the idea that what we do to animals is so violent and wrong, and the characters behind these are disgusting. People going and paying for their Sunday to go on a fishing trip to hunt animals. Always makes me laugh. Many people in the chat have been saying it, but even that guy there, from what I can remember, go and get a job. What do you mean go and get a job? Firstly, what has that got to do with anything that I'm talking about? Secondly, it's a Sunday afternoon. Drippy Richard, you are dishonest, bud. How am I dishonest? What am I saying that's dishonest? Do explain. Address the pesticide. What's the question about the pesticide? What's the question? You're going to say about crop deaths? Because again, if you're concerned about insects because of pesticide, that's another reason to be vegan and advocate for veganic farming. What questions do you have about being vegan? What questions do you have? I think there's another fishing boat coming in. Wonder where that's going to turn up. Should we play a game? Are they going to be more or less violent than the last boat? Hopefully I'll try and get the whole thing on live stream this time. How would you approach them? What would you say to the fisherman coming off the boat? What would be your opening line? Because if it's good and you think it will engage them in conversation, I'm more than happy to try it. Right. Now I think this time, maybe this time I just try and give them a leaflet, don't even talk to them. Maybe I'll just not even talk to them. Yeah, so many people triggered, both on the chat and in real life. Everyone seems to be triggered. So the boat's coming in. Let me just turn this around, get it ready. Okay. Perhaps I'll set the camera back a bit further away. So, the last people came out of this gate, so maybe I'll try and put the camera up on the other side. Right, so the fisherman will most likely come out of here. You know, last time all I said was how many fish did you kill, and they got their backs up and wanted to scrap. So maybe this time I'll just give them a leaflet. But someone has to put pressure on. Someone has to confront them about what they're doing, because until something's questioned, why would they ever question it? So they're going out. They're going out the other entrance. Hopefully this will capture both sides. Can I give you guys a leaflet, please?
What's it for?
It's about fishing. Maybe you want to learn some more about fishing? How many animals did you kill today?
About 300.
300. How do you feel about that? How do you think they feel about that? Didn't want to engage in conversation. So yes, apologies if I'm going to miss any of the chats, but yeah, thanks Jasmine and Jake for continuing the dialogue in the chat. Alex can't help himself. Alex can't help himself from trying to speak up for animals. You're absolutely right. There's never going to be a good way in this situation. There's never going to be a good way to, confront the people doing this in this situation. They've just come off a fishing trip. Turn the camera around. They've just come off a fishing trip. They're going to have their backs up straight away. But maybe with this and more pressure from other situations, maybe they'll stop. But it'll be the first time that hopefully someone confronts them about their actions and their behaviour. So they're all still just standing around having a coffee at the moment, so I'll wait for them to come off there. You're attacking heroes that feed us. No, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm confronting and asking hunters to stop torturing animals for fun. Imagine you were in their position. How would you feel? Alex, I pray you get arrested. Thank you so much for that kind comment. Really appreciate that. You ambushed them. Yeah, they ambushed the fish at quite an extensively worse situation. Oh, there's my leaflet on the floor. I'm going to grab that. All right, meanwhile, you can watch the people. I love how they just litter as well. They don't give any consideration for anyone else, do they? They don't give consideration for other people's belongings. They're just happy to litter. So yeah, this is where all the fishing boats are. They're all coming in. As I timed correctly that they'll be coming in at this time. 2 boats coming in, and they basically do half-day trips. Some go out for the whole day, 8 till 5 or 9 till 5. Whole day of killing. But as I said, turn the camera back around. Hopefully you can see me now. I said before, like, how would you approach the situation? What would you say to them in this split second they're coming out? I'm taking suggestions. What would you say to them if you've got 3 seconds as they're about to walk past? What would you say to them? Ask them what bait they're using. I mean, it's an interesting topic because that will probably get them engaged in conversation. I quite like that idea. But I mean, as soon as you mention, it's just hard, isn't it? What you could say. Are you fishing responsibly? It does make me laugh, some of these comments. You don't want an honest conversation with them? Of course I do. That's the whole point. I want them to engage in a conversation. But it's very hard when they're in this context. They've just come off a fishing trip and you're confronting them about the thing they've literally spent the day doing. And yeah, there's definitely better ways of advocating, but when you have this opportunity to try and meet them face to face, we've got to take that opportunity, as well as putting stuff online, putting leaflets through doors. We've got to try and engage them in conversation, because how else are you going to confront them? In the same way that people try and confront people that go hunting. You're not just going to not do it. You're never going to get a great reception, but you never know if more and more people start to confront them about what they're doing. Imagine every weekend there's people there asking about what they're doing and why they're doing it. It will start to chip away at them and realize, oh, maybe what I'm doing is wrong. So it's hard. It's a hard situation to be in. And I did also think that when they come off the fishing trips, maybe you would see some of the fish that they've caught. Obviously, they end up putting them in either dirty buckets or coolers, and they would have all the fish in there. It would have been maybe good to try and get some of the footage of the fish so that people can see the victims that they're killing. But ultimately, yeah, they're still just standing around at the moment, having a coffee. I'll just show you the camera. So yeah, they're all still congregating. You know, and I'm not doing this to try and piss people off. I'm not trying to do this to be confrontational. I just want them to stop doing what they're doing. It's quite simple. I just want them to stop killing fish. Hey Alex, why do you think veganism is a better way and why? 100% yes. Veganism means that you are rejecting the idea that we should exploit animals for our own benefit. You're rejecting the idea that we should use them, consume them, wear them, because you don't need to. It's unnecessary and it's unethical. So yeah, veganism. Please do watch the 3-minute movie in the video description. It's completely free to do. And yeah, you can see the truth for yourself. But veganism means that you respect animals. If you're an animal lover, you cannot pay for them to be killed. You cannot pay for them to be eaten. Yeah, watch Dominion, as Evil Stevens just put. Yeah, watch Dominion. Watch the reality for yourself. You're a posh hypocrite. Again, what about phones? What about cars? What about plastics? Intentional killing is by people that are paying for animals, animal products, animal clothing. That is intentional killing. If a car hits a bug on the road, that is not intentional. But you're paying for animals to be bred, enslaved, and then forced into gas chambers. Also realised the covert approach probably won't work, as I kind of forgot I'm wearing a t-shirt that says "Our planet's theirs too," and then there's a picture of animals and fish on. So yeah, maybe not the best to try and disguise them by asking about what bait they're using, because they'll probably go when they look at me. That's farming. You can farm crops, you can farm non-animal products, you can farm anything else that doesn't involve animals. Trillions and trillions of fish every single year are being killed, and billions of land animals are being killed every single year. If you're comparing driving a car to forcing a cow into a gas chamber, you need to take a look in the mirror. What excuse do you have? Watch the video in the video description. Go and watch it, and then tell me if you're going to give me that same argument back. Always just trying to divert from the topic that's being addressed, trying to divert away from the situation that's happening to animals, because you don't want to take personal accountability for yourself. You don't want to feel responsible. I'll just turn the camera around. Looks like they're starting to pack up. Can I give you some leaflets?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Does
very
anyone
much.
else want one? Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. So again, you probably didn't see much of that, but much more peaceful. Oh, let's drop the camera. Yeah, two of them, one of them took it, and the other one took it, and they're having a little read of it. But you never know. You know, out of a group of people, there could be a really compassionate person in there that's just doing it to go out with their friends. They're just doing it as like a fun day trip. You might go home and read that leaflet and realise, yeah, the fish do feel pain. I did see them suffer when I was trying to bludgeon them to death. You never know what impact you can have by the approaches that you take. So we have to try everything. So I'm just going to head back to my other spot, because potentially cars could be driving in this situation, this place. And I get a good view from where I was stood of when the boats are coming in. So But yeah, you never know, 2 of them took leaflets. But again, very different approach from the first group. First group wanted to punch me and assault me. This guy seemed more than happy to take a leaflet. You're intentionally driving a car. When you drive your car, you do not directly kill animals. We have to do what is as far as is practically possible to stop animal exploitation and use. Talking about cars, you're just talking about some sort of excuse to not pay for them to suffer and to die. It's a weak argument. A weak argument. Yeah, if you haven't already, please do just double tap the screen. Really helps if you like this video, and do subscribe to my channel, and you can see more live streams that I'll be doing.
Oh, wait, no, I forgot you wanted to check the thing out, innit?
All right, getting set back up again. Right, in a sec I'll just go back and have a look at the chat, just trying to clear all of this disgusting fishing gear. Again, I'll try and just show you exactly what's here. Like this, my tripod is actually caught in this fishing net at the moment. Jesus. Wow. Let me just show you this because it's really interesting. Right. So the fact I've just put my tripod down, it's already caught in all this fishing gear. So imagine all this netting along the bottom of a seabed. Imagine all the fish, all the sea life that are being caught in all this discarded fishing gear. If you haven't already, look at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's all this: fishing nets, fishing rope, fishing equipment. Not only is this used to kill the animals, it gets discarded, broken off, dumped, and it then kills more animals, more sea life, when we don't need to. Right, apologies, trying to get the camera back in. Okay. Right. It's not in the sea, it's there. Yeah, funny comment. But look up how much fishing gear, fishing plastic is discarded and put into the ocean. Look up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's one of the biggest threats to our sea species is all the discarded fishing gear. Over 50% of the plastic that's in the ocean is from fishing gear and discarded fishing netting, especially in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Which brings me on to another topic, which I can't believe I haven't brought up yet. People trying to move to plastic straws. Why do people do that? Well, maybe because they want to protect the fish, they want to protect the environment. Plastic straws. That's what I didn't see. So that fishing boat is actually going out now. It's a new fishing boat just going out. Because they think they go to a meeting point first and they all come to the shore. Should have stayed there, should have stayed. And maybe spoke to them before they went out. Damn. Well, good to know for next time, like the fishing trip at 1:30 has just gone back out and more people on board. So that's a good opportunity to go and speak to them before they go out. And maybe feel guilty when they catch a fish and then try and beat it in the head to kill it. But anyway, back to the plastic straw situation. People buy plastic straws because they think it's better for the environment. They think they're not gonna kill the turtles because they're getting stuck in plastic straws or whatever it might be. You're trying to buy plastic straws, paper straws, sorry, paper straws. You're trying to buy paper straws instead of plastic straws to save the fish, and then you go and eat fish. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. So, right, I'm going to have a look at the comments again, and just very quickly go to the video description, watch a 3-minute movie, watch Seaspiracy, watch exactly what happens to the fish and the sea animals. Go and go and watch it and have a look and come back and we can talk about it. Yeah, Jasmine, great comment there. Over 300,000 whales and dolphins are killed every single year from bycatch. And this is because if you've ever seen how the commercial fishing industry works, bottom trawling. This is where, oh, comment's gone a bit weird. Right, back to the bottom now. This is where bottom trawlers take huge nets, and it basically drags all along the seabed, all along the floor of the sea. And it will take anything in its path. It will take the coral, it will take all the animal species. And that's why so many dolphins, sharks, turtles all get caught up in fishing nets. This is all shown on Seaspiracy, by the way. Watch Seaspiracy, this is all shown on that documentary. All the animals that people claim to protect, they claim to love and to care for. You know, people love dolphins, people love turtles, some people love sharks. Yet you're paying for them to be killed if you're consuming fish. You're paying for them to be killed if you're consuming sea animals. So yeah, please, all the links that you might need are in the video description. I've got a link to the 3-minute movie challenge. I've got a link to the Seaspiracy documentary. If you go to my link tree, if in the video description, hit the 3 dots, go to my link tree, there's loads of links to my social media accounts and other accounts. So yeah, please do check out my link tree. So, people saying I'm avoiding, is that your question, Ozzy? What do you think about the eradication or culling of invasive species? What I think is that it's very simple how you should look at any of this exploitation, any of this injustice. Leave animals alone. You leave animals alone, you'll solve a lot of problems. You'll solve fishing problems, farming problems. Just leave them alone. Just think, animals have evolved, you know, on this planet without humans. Humans have come and destroyed natural habitats. They've made species go extinct. They're emptying the oceans. We can just leave animals alone. Is there any questions that are on that line? You know, just think about that answer. Just leave animals alone. We can't leave animals alone, we live them. You can leave them alone. You can choose to not exploit them. Of course you can. Just leave them alone. Don't pay for their flesh and body parts. So, right, my comments, what's going on? Right, I've just hit the bottom of the comments now, so anything coming through. I've seen Jake's, I do more than you. Jake's brilliant, by the way. Please do go and follow Jake, like I said, he's an awesome activist. Yeah, I was tuned into his live stream yesterday, doing some outreach at a festival, or a market, I'm not sure what the context was, but yeah, Jake's awesome. And yeah, there's a Patreon on my link tree if you want to check that out as well. I post lots of sort of articles about the activism I'm doing. So yeah, check out the Patreon. It's on my link tree in the video description. And Jasmine as well, Jasmine Olivia, please do follow by Jasmine Olivia, another amazing activist, standing up for so many variety of oppressions, and really creative posts. So yeah, drop both Jake and Jasmine a follow. And we need more people like Jake and Jasmine. We need way more people like them speaking up for these animals and speaking up even in the live chats here. You know, you might be outnumbered 10 to 1, but the fact is you never know whose perception you might change from a comment on a live stream. People go vegan on these live streams. People come away from this and they send messages afterwards. And you never know what impact you could have. Because think at the moment there's 40 people in the room. Some people are commenting, but some people are just watching. And you never know about the people that are watching, how they might react and take. And that's why I encourage anyone to go to the link in my video description and watch Seaspiracy, or the 3-minute, if you've got just 3 minutes, if you can tune into this live stream, you can go and watch a 3-minute movie and see exactly what happens to animals and what we do to them to exploit them. So the BKs, I see your comment. Yeah, I do have a Patreon page, as I said on my link. If you go to the video description, you can check that out, and I do post updates of my activism, what I do monthly. And yeah, you can donate there and you can check out all of the resources. But you know, I'm doing this, you know, in my spare time at the weekend, and yeah, you know, it can be draining, but what's really supportive and helpful is having activists like Jake and Jasmine in the chat here to support, because often vegans feel outnumbered, but the fact is that they shouldn't feel in any way that way, because we are the ones that are actually standing up for these injustices. Yeah, exactly. Seaspiracy, it's on Netflix, completely free to watch. There's a link in the video description. If you can't click it, just copy and paste it into your browser. And same with any other links. If the links don't click, just copy and paste it, put it in your browser. That's, yeah, so go to the 3 dots on the screen, video description. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Alex, you have gone mad. How have I gone mad? Please tell me how speaking up for animals is going mad. Happy to hear what you've got to say. I respect everyone's right to their opinion, but again, your motto of leave animals alone doesn't make things better. What it does do is make things better. If you leave animals alone, you're not paying for their body parts. You're not paying for them to be enslaved, bred, kept in farms, and then transported to slaughterhouses if you just leave animals alone. But food is a necessity. Yes, of course it is. Food, of course, is a necessity. Animal products are not a necessity. I've been eating plants for nearly 5 years. You don't need to eat animals to survive. You speak for animals at the cost of people starving. Again, people talking about starvation. The kids are starving. People in countries are starving. We feed 92 billion land animals with food, yet we struggle to feed 8 billion humans. Try and work out how that works. Because all the crops that we grow are fed to the 92 billion land animals, and we're struggling then to feed the humans. So instead, stop farming the animals, stop enslaving them, rewild the land, and grow crops for everyone. Problem of starvation is solved. You guys can't debate properly, you just ignore tough questions. You know, feel free to put some questions in. You know, I'm trying to get through as, God, getting stuck in this fishing net again. Yeah, please do put them in the comments. And as I see them come through, I'll respond to them. And anyone else in the chat can also respond to them. You can import carbon miles, heavy, highly processed. So this environmental point about carbon emissions, animal agriculture is responsible for more carbon emissions than the entire transport industry combined. When you look at the carbon footprint in terms of travel of a product, only about 7 to 10% of that is travel and transportation. The rest is how it's grown, fed. So if you care about the environment, you should stop contributing to animal agriculture, the biggest cause of deforestation, water use, land use, ocean dead zones, species extinction, habitat loss, numerous reasons of why animal agriculture is bad for the environment. Here's a hypothetical question. Science discovers plants experience pain. So that, if we'll go through your hypothetical situation, that is, again, another reason for being vegan. Because if you think of the billions of crops that we're growing just to feed the animals, we can reduce the amount of plants being grown to feed the humans. 8 billion humans, stop feeding 92 billion land animals. That is a reason to be vegan. If your hypothetical situation is that plants feel pain, that is a reason to be vegan. If we banned hunting dangerous animals like grizzlies, we should stop hunting completely. Again, just leave animals alone. We don't need to hunt animals. It's disgusting. Plants don't feel pain. They don't have pain receptors. They don't have a central nervous system. They don't have brains. Come on. If you really think plants feel pain, come on. Imagine on a kitchen table, you've got a carrot in front of you and a rabbit. And you think stabbing a rabbit in the head and stabbing a carrot is the same? Seriously? Also in that analogy, I think it was Gary Rofsky that said, if you give a baby or a young child a carrot and a rabbit, let me know when the child eats the rabbit and plays with the carrot. Really messed up that delivery, but you get the point. Yeah. Fish do feel pain, as Jake said. You're trying to talk about plants. Again, just whataboutism. We'll talk about other things. Fish feel pain. Fish have pain receptors. Fish have sentience. Fish have families, they have friends, they have social bonds. Fish are suffocated to death, they're hooked in the mouths. They are blunt force trauma to death. They're basically battered with a hard, like mallet, or they're gutted alive. Or they're just put on ice, still conscious, just to freeze and suffocate to death. I've just answered that. How do you know plants don't feel pain? Because they don't have brains, they don't have pain receptors, they don't have sentience, they don't have central nervous systems. Science. Science tells us. Just like science tells us that fish do feel pain. And instinctively you can tell if an animal has sentience and feels pain. You know, if you were to kick a dog, how would you feel? Would the dog try and move away and feel scared? Because they have sentience. But people are, I think the reason why you're all going on to things like plants now is because you don't have any other excuse. You don't have any other arguments to support why you're doing this to the animals. So you're having to go to these drastic measures of what about this, what about that, because you don't have a solid argument. Because you know it's the right thing to do is to be vegan. You know the right thing is to respect animals. No, it's just because you're ignoring all the good shit. What good shit? I saw you eating fish and chips last week, so don't lie to us. I always find it when people try and just like say this stuff. But what is funny, I had a vegan fish and chips yesterday, made out of tofu, a tofu fish and chips. Delicious, and a battered sausage, a vegan sausage. So you can still have fish and chips, you can still have vegan fish and chips. Yeah, it was amazing. Thanks for mentioning. It was a delicious vegan fish and chips. Absolutely delicious. So what questions do you have? What questions do you have about being vegan? Have you watched the 3-minute movie yet? Have you watched it? Have you gone to the video description and watched the 3-minute movie? So a comment here, is lab-grown meat morally acceptable? So, I mean, this is an interesting question. Obviously, lab-grown meat would then stop the billions of land animals being bred into existence and slaughtered at a young age. But personally, we don't need, again, to use animal cells to grow lab-grown meat. We don't need it. We already have alternatives. We have plants. We have plant-based chicken, plant-based pork, plant-based sausages. We have all the solutions. Why would we need to invest into making meat in a lab when we already have the solutions today? Save the money, invest it elsewhere, invest it into all the dozens of other problems which many people have mentioned in the chat. Put the money on that instead. Comment from Jesse and Charlie, even plant-based burgers, etc. are actually really good. Aldi sells vegan sweets. And yeah, I mean, yeah, they're amazing. Like every supermarket has often their sort of own branded burgers, their own branded range, but other ones have maybe the more branded stuff, like Meatless Farm, This, or This Isn't. Yeah, really good brands of like vegan chicken, vegan sausages. Yeah, check them out. If you can get the same taste, so what does a plant-based sausage taste like? It tastes like a sausage. You know, you can get the same flavors. If you liked pork and apple sausages, you can get vegan pork and apple sausages. You can get the same flavors. And often, a lot of these foods, it's all in the seasoning anyway. You know, when you buy a beef or a steak, you season it. You do the same thing with a vegan steak. You season it. Create whatever flavors you want to. No one goes vegan because of the sort of the taste of the product. You know, vegans liked the taste of the products that they were eating. They don't like the animals being killed. That's why they've created the same familiarity of having the same meals. You don't have to give up anything by being vegan. You can have the same meals. You can have spaghetti bologneses, burgers, curries, and all you're doing is swapping the animals out and putting plant-based ingredients in. That's weird. I'll tell you what's weird is forcibly impregnating cows, taking bull from a semen and inseminating the female, taking the female cow's babies away from them, slaughtering the male babies at a young age, slaughtering male chicks at 1 day old in a macerator, killing chickens in gas chambers at 6 weeks old, killing pigs in gas chambers at 6 months old, killing sheep at 6 months old by slicing their throats. That is what's weird, and that is what is not acceptable for the sake of a meal when I'm telling you there are alternatives that exist. Josh Lane put, yeah, the lab grown is much easier to sell than giving up meat completely. I think pragmatism is important. I think what's important is that we stop exploiting animals. But why would you need lab grown meat when we have meat that already exists today that tastes the same, looks the same? If you haven't tried, like juicy marble steak, for example, looks so realistic, tastes the same. Like, we don't need all this investment, but at the end of the day, if that stops animals from being bred, enslaved and killed, then obviously that is a better solution. But I'm telling you, solutions already exist. Solutions already exist. You can just eat plants or eat the plant-based alternatives. Will you do some vegan cooking lives? I mean, I could do. I haven't done yet. Usually my live streams have been at slaughterhouses, debating people in the streets, protests, things like that. But if the people want to see a vegan cooking demo, then maybe we give the people what they want. You can get all nutrition from plants. What you need is nutrition, you need nutrients, not ingredients. All the nutrition you can get from plants. You don't need to get nutrition from animal products. And it's better for you. You don't get the saturated fats and cholesterols from meat. You just eat plants. Eat plants and eat plants. Let's face it, we would need, as a whole world, to change to make huge changes that would ruin huge corporations. I mean, I agree what you're saying around huge corporations having to change, and because they will always follow the money. They will always follow the money. And obviously, the animal agriculture industry, the meat industry, hugely profitable, and that's where people make their money from. Big corporations, marketing, all of that. But the fact is that we don't need the whole world to change before society changes. If you look at other social injustices throughout history, if you look at, for example, women's rights, slavery, you didn't need every single person to agree with the thing before society changed. You need a small portion. They estimate about 3.5% of the population to be basically talking up and active about an issue for society to change. But to be fair, vegetarianism is the middle ground. Thomas, do you understand what vegetarianism is? Do you actually understand what that is? Because that is not a middle ground. It is not a middle ground. Because vegetarians still consume dairy, eggs, and the dairy industry is one of the most horrendous industries on this planet. You're raping cows, you're forcibly inseminating cows, you're taking their babies, you're taking their milk, and you're forcing them into slaughterhouses to be shot in the head and have their throats sliced. That's vegetarianism. You're still supporting the industries that exploit and kill animals. You can be vegan and just stop paying for it. I'm vegan, men, no. McDonald's, no. Burger King. I mean, they have vegan options. You can get the McPlant from McDonald's. If you really want, you can get the vegan, whatever it's called, from Burger King. You still go to the same restaurants. Just choose the vegan option. Yeah, Jake's going, does that make you happy, killing innocent animals? I think genuinely people clearly do. People like killing innocent babies. They must like it. Because if they're still defending it after all of the things that I've said, you have no empathy or no compassion. And if you think you do, watch the video in my description. Go and watch the 3-minute movie and watch it for yourself. And then let's see how much compassion you have. Again, talking about electronics, blah, 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 blah. We're talking about animals being killed, not about electronics.
Sit down, and you, Bella. I've had enough of you two fighting. Sit down, on time out now. I don't care.
Drama behind me.
I've had enough of you two being so pathetic. Hugo, mainly you, mate. Calm down, okay?
So maybe, yeah, I can show you more of the fishing port. And some people, I've realised some people might have just tuned in. Yeah, like Melissa just has. So maybe I will show you around. It might be a bit peaceful as well. So I'm at a fishing port. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. And again, to show you all of the torture equipment, all the methods that are used to capture the animals, the lobsters, the crabs, all of the fishing nets that are used. These poor animals go into these contraptions, they get caught there, then they're killed. Things like lobsters as well, they're boiled alive. They get put into tanks and they're boiled alive. Oh, trying to find a way out of this place. Right. Lobsters don't feel pain. Wow, that is a dangerous comment. That is a dangerous comment. Of course lobsters feel pain. How would you feel if you were boiled alive? Would you enjoy it? How do you know they don't feel pain? Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course they feel pain. They are sentient beings, just like other sea animals are sentient beings. Yeah, Matthew, living and thriving on plant-based whole foods, more energy. Yeah, definitely noticed when I went vegan, definitely in the first 3 months, way more energy than I ever used to have. Lost a lot of unwanted body fat, never been fitter for just eating plants now. So this is the fishing harbour. So the boats will basically come and do fishing trips, and they will come out often for the whole day, 8 till 5, 9 till 5. And I managed to catch, I guess, 2 of the boats coming in that they do half days, 4-hour trips. And this is one of the companies, Sea Fishing Pool. 4-hour and all-day trips, families welcome. Here's all the animals that they kill or claim to kill. Skate, bass, conger, dogfish, mackerel, pollock, plaice. These are the species that that are killed. These are the people that go and hunt these animals. So people basically are spending their day out on a fishing boat to hunt animals. They're spending their day to go and hunt innocent victims. And once I say again, like, how would you feel if it was the other way round? If it was dogs? Would it be acceptable if people were going out and hunting dogs? But also it's the same as what happens to the land animals that we hunt. You know, people are so against the hunting of foxes, the hunting of deer, hunting of hares and rabbits. If you're against that, you should of course be against the hunting of fish. It's the same thing. People don't call it that. People call it fishing, and it's become such a norm when it's cruel and it's unkind and that you don't need to do it. Someone put, is it's okay to eat something that dies naturally? So the concept of veganism is the idea that we don't look for an animal to give us a benefit. We can respect animals and be kind to animals. Even if they've died naturally, we are still, if you're going to choose to eat them, you're still thinking, oh, how can I use their body parts? How can I exploit them for my own personal benefit? You don't need to always look at someone else to see how they would benefit yourself. And that's the point that I'm trying to make today. But I eat no pig. You eat pig, you don't eat pigs. Do you eat other animals? And if so, what difference does the pigs have? Very few people in America protest against deer hunting. I mean, America, yeah, that's a whole different country and way of life in America. It's disgusting, the hunting culture out there. But I mean, in the UK, most people are against hunting of deer, the hunting of foxes, the hunting of other animals. Even non-vegans are against that. Even non-vegans can appreciate the fact that wild animals don't need to be hunted by people on horses and dogs. And for a fact, there will be people protesting hunting in America. I'm not in America, so I can't speak for what goes on there. But maybe some people who are in America can speak up and tell me what is going on in America. What's the scene? What's the scene like? Are a lot of people protesting it? There's a question here. What if an animal attacks a human being and kills it? I mean, firstly, you're potentially talking about a survival situation. But secondly, what about if the animal isn't attacking the human? Is it okay to kill it then? You can protest against the killing of kids by Israel. I assume you're trying to say we can advocate for or protest against hunting in America. Of course, I'm protesting against consumption of fish all around the world. I'm not just saying we should stop consuming fish in the UK. I'm talking about all the varieties of hunting, all the varieties of hunting animals, all the varieties of factory farms, all the varieties of exploitation to animals globally, not just the UK. Obviously, I protest the UK examples because that's where I'm based. Thanks, mods, for timing any bots out. Yeah, vegan is easy. It is one of the easiest things you can do. But all veganism is saying that you want to respect animals. Just be kind to them. You don't need to hunt them. You don't need to suffocate them to death. You don't need to drown them. You don't need to put them in gas chambers. You can just be kind to animals. You don't need to take a year to transition. You just go like that. You'd be vegan. It's a mindset. It's making a connection with the animals that we consume for food, for clothing. And knowing that you don't have to do it. It's a choice. It's a personal choice. And if your personal choice has a victim, why would you not want to be kind instead? You should respect animals, because they don't have people speaking up for them anywhere near as much as they need to. $550,000 registered hunters. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. People think it's fun to go and hunt innocent animals. But I love eating meat. Just eat vegan meat. Just eat plant-based meat. You get the same taste, same texture, same meals. Why would you not choose that option over causing an animal to be killed when they're just a fraction of their lifespan? Comment here at Jasmine, so you want meat eating to be criminalised? 100% it should be criminalised. It should be absolutely illegal what we do to animals. But the idea that in the UK, fox hunting, for example, is technically illegal. It's illegal to go and hunt a fox in the wild. but they still do it. They still do it under the guise of trail hunting. But if it's not okay, it's illegal to hunt foxes. Why is it illegal to hunt? Why is it legal to hunt fish? Or why is it legal to hunt other animals and kill them for fun, for sport, for food? If we all had compassion and empathy, we'd all be vegan. And some people, I genuinely believe, do have it, but they just haven't made the connection with the animals that we're consuming are the animals that we are similar to the animals that we claim to love. You know, pet dogs and cats. They're no different to pigs and chickens and sheep. All right, just scroll to the bottom of the chat. So yeah, please do put any comments in the chat. We breed the cows and chickens and stuff, so we deserve to eat them. Wow. We breed them, so we deserve to eat them. Dangerous comment, cruel comment. Imagine you swap that out for something else. Imagine it was humans. Oh, we breed these humans, so we can eat them. Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Pigs can't swim, dogs can. What on earth are you on about? Pigs are actually more intelligent than dogs. Pigs are more intelligent than dogs, yet we force them into gas chambers at 6 months old. 6 months old, they get forced into a gas chamber, lowered down into CO2 gas, an aversive gas that burns their stomachs, burns their lungs, burns their eyes, when you don't need to. You don't need to pay for bacon or sausages. You don't need to pay for pigs at 6 months old to be forced into gas chambers. Eric, I agree with you, Alex. Glad that someone does. It's crazy that so many people don't agree with the idea that we can just be kind to animals, to respect them and not want to take their body parts and use them for our own benefit, our own uses. Yeah, Jesse and Charlie, pigs are more intelligent than most animals. They cry, they scream, they fear for life. 100%, 100%. If you go to this video description and watch the 3 minutes.wtf, you can see exactly what happens to these animals. And even animals that don't make physical noises, you can see the fear in their eyes. The amount of times I stood outside slaughterhouses and seen these animals going in. You see cows crying, trying to escape. You see chickens at 6 months old, about to meet their fate of a gas chamber. You see lambs, all fearful, so fearful, trying to, again, just, they have no idea what's going on. Little do they know they're about to have their throats sliced. You can be vegan. Eric, are you vegan out of interest? Or Eric, is this the first time that you've had a conversation like this? Yeah, Jake, vegan is the only way to respect animals. Vegan is the only way to respect animals. Watch Dominion, but no first time. So yeah, Eric, if you would check out I don't know where you're based. If you're based in the UK, watch a documentary called The Land of Hope and Glory. It's a documentary about what happens specifically in the UK. And if not, watch Dominion. But yeah, watch Dominion, watch Earthlings. And this stuff happens in the US. And also, if you go to the video description, there's a link to just a 3-minute movie. And you can, if you don't have time to watch the full-length documentary, go and watch the documentary maybe later on, but go and watch that 3-minute movie. And it's completely free, just 3 minutes. And Eric, please do drop me a message, alex.activism on Instagram, whatever social platform you're on, because I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that video and how you feel, because we need more people like you, Eric, to be open-minded, to go and watch these documentaries and to realize that, yeah, what we do to animals is absolutely disgusting. The way we breed them and kill them as babies when we don't need to, and for clothing, for entertainment, when it's just unnecessary and we don't need to do it. And we need more people speaking up for them. And there's so many, we've got Jasmine in the chat, we've got Jake in the chat. These are other truly, truly compassionate people who aligns their actions and their morals so that they're not hypocritical. They say that they love animals and they mean it, because they don't then go and pay for their body parts in a supermarket or a restaurant. So please, Eric, yeah, please, at alex.activism on Instagram, whatever social platforms, please drop me a message. I would thoroughly like to have a chat with you. later on. But yeah, watch the 3-minute movie, and if you can, watch Dominion or watch Earthlings. They're completely free documentaries to watch. Thank you, Eric. We need more people like Eric. We need more people like Eric. Be open-minded and be compassionate. And I feel like a lot of people have the compassion inside them, but it's just a case of making that connection, making the connection between the animals that we exploit and use. And what questions do you have? What questions do you have? So anyone that's obviously just tuned in, yeah, I'm at a fishing port. So as you can see here, we've got more fishermen now turning up to go and hunt innocent animals. And they do sea fishing trips for all day or 4 hours, and they'll go out and they'll basically hunt animals. They'll go and kill them. So there was 2 boats that came in, but maybe about an hour ago, give or take, and just change of scenery. Sorry, Eric, my advice is steak or need to find an alternative. If you have juicy marbles in your country, I really hope you do, because that is honestly the most comparable. And maybe Jake, are you, I don't know where you're from, Jake, but maybe you could suggest some steak alternatives to Eric in the chat. I'm not sure where you're based, but yeah, I mean, the fact that you can go and look in maybe your local supermarkets, or go and look online, the vegan steak alternatives that could be local to you. But also your taste buds will change and adapt. You know, I think it takes just 2 weeks for your taste buds to reset. People that say, oh, I love cheese too much, give it 2 weeks, try different products, your taste buds reset. And actually you'll find that you explore and enjoy so many other foods. Like, I eat so many more foods than I ever did before from when I went vegan and started eating plant-based foods. Like all of these beans, legumes, like so many experimentations, actually found foods that I really, really like. So Jake put, I like chuck over juicy. Yeah, I'm not sure which brands they are, but yeah, you'll have them. I know you'll have them, because every place will have alternatives. I have some homework to do. Yeah, I mean, just think, whenever you're thinking, what can I have? Or, you know, what could I choose instead? Just think, always in the back of your mind, the choice that you make could be at the cost of an entire animal's life. You could be paying for an animal to be forced into a gas chamber and have their throat sliced, or you can pay for that animal to live. So Eric, let me tell you this as well, by you just being vegan, you can save 200 to 300 animals every single year. Just one person alone being vegan can do that. And if you were to visualize that, like imagine in front of you 200 to 300 animals all in front of you. You've got pigs, you've got cows, you've got chickens. If you were to visualize all of those animals right in front of you, by being vegan, you get to say to all of those animals, I'm gonna save you, you can live. But if you're not vegan and you go and choose those animal products, you go and choose the steak, you're basically saying all those animals have to die. Comment Emma, Alex, you remember when that guy earlier threatened to hit you? Have you ever been attacked doing this? No, I mean, I'm not going to say he attacked me. He touched me and he tried grabbing my hat and I had to move away from him. But no, I don't think I've been attacked. I mean, I've been doing quite a variety of things, more verbal abuse than physical abuse. But no, I don't think I've been attacked yet. But I say yet because you never know what's around the corner when you're not watching. But you know, yeah, why are people so angry? So yeah, if you look back earlier into this stream, there was 2 fishing boats that basically came in. The first fishing boat, I wanted to basically, I've got some leaflets with me that basically maybe I'll show you one of the leaflets of what I was giving out to the people. Let me just flip the camera around because otherwise it'll be reversed. So the leaflet reads, "Fishing hurts. Fish are feeling social, intelligent, and playful. Please don't turn away." So that's on the front, and then on the back, there's some facts about why we should love fish, how they're killed, factory farms, and some call to actions. The main one there, stop eating fish, go vegan instead. and these were provided by Animal Justice Project. So these are the leaflets that, flip that back around, these were the leaflets I was giving out to the people going past, the fishermen rather, coming out, going past. But the first group of fishermen, my opening line was, how many fish did you kill today? And instantly got their backs up. There's about 10 of them. Quite a few of them got just significantly angry within 3 seconds. And yeah, the one guy was getting aggressive. He said he wants to punch me. He said he's going to assault me. And I was then trying to turn my camera around so you could see. He then basically grabbed at me, tried to grab my hat, tried to almost swing at me at the same time, just sort of, yeah, almost tried clawing at me. And then as soon as I told him, by the way, you're being live streamed, yeah, he kind of took a step back. But he's still threatening to punch me on a live stream, which is mental. And then obviously two of his friends had to almost take him away afterwards. But yeah, so many people triggered just by saying, how many fish did you kill today? Get so angry. These are violent people.
No, only a bass. You catch 20 mackerel, big 20 mackerel, but mackerel are very few and far between at the moment. They seem to have come in September, like beginning of September.
I agree, hunters are cowards. Yeah, I mean, if they were, like, why would they not want to engage in a meaningful conversation? Instead, they just get their backs up and try to argue and just try to use their physical force against it. It's crazy. Eric, always easy to be smart ass, tough guy behind the keyboard. Yeah, most people on these chats, they're in a, you know, you're all people commenting on this live stream. You're all in a safe environment, most likely. You're at home, or you're somewhere. You're on your phone, you're on your laptop, and you're just commenting away, nicely behind the screen. How many of you would actually say this stuff to me in person or to other people in person? I'd be curious if you would say the different stuff. But what I would much prefer is to have a proper, meaningful conversation. Not just trolling comments of plants feel pain or whatever that, because we get through those arguments, we get through the what about this, what about that, and then we try and understand, what are your values? Do you think we should respect animals? And based on your answer to that question is what you do next and how I respond. Because most of the time people just need to make that connection. If you respect animals,
I bet, yeah, that's what I usually go.
it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings. Of course they have feelings. Fish feel pain, fish feel suffering, fish have sentience, they have pain receptors, they have families and social bonds. So be vegan, basically. That's the message. Go and watch the 3-minute movie in the video description, as I've mentioned. I've also got a link to my link tree. If you copy and paste that, you can see all the various documentaries that I recommend watching. It's got The Land of Hope and Glory, it's got Earthlings, it's got Dominion, it's got some street debates. So on my YouTube channel, you can see street debates that I have with people. I've done a lot of live streams outside slaughterhouses, live streams having debates with people on the streets. And it's just a case of people educating themselves and learning that, firstly, this is what we do to animals. This is wrong, and what you can do to change. Hen pickle, fish are friends, yeah, 100%. If you ever watched Finding Nemo, fish are friends, not food. What a quote, what a quote. Fish eat other fish? Yeah, but you don't have to eat fish, do you? You don't have to eat fish. You eat something else. Animals deserve freedom. Yeah, 100%. Of course they deserve freedom. They deserve respect and yeah, deserve freedom. If I turn vegan, will you answer me? What's your question? I'm at the bottom of the chat now, so yeah, I'm not sure what your questions might be, but thanks Eric, thanks for your comment. And if you've got any questions, you know, I'm still happy to answer as much as I can on this live stream whilst I'm here today. And just, you know, I know my t-shirt's probably reversed, but you know, it says our planet, theirs too. We're in this planet, on this world, with other animals. We don't need to exploit them. We don't need to use them for our own benefit. We don't need to kill them. Fish eat other fish, but we eat something else. Yeah, you just eat something else. Of course you just eat something else. You just eat plants. What's your question, Mr. Clean? Hopefully I see them, but as always, there's comments that come through. If there's lag on the comments, apologies, but I'm, you know, yeah, Jake put Mr. Clean ask away. Yeah, that's a really good point, Matthew. Thanks for commenting that. Eating fish, there's a high probability that you're consuming mercury as well. So I've spoken a lot about commercial farming and sort of the way that fish are caught, wild caught on fishing trips. But most fish, if people eat salmon, they're going to come from a fish farm. Fish farms where, you know, hundreds of thousands of salmon fish are all in these circular pods as such in the sea, and they are full of diseases. They are full of mercury. They're also fed other fish. They're fed innocent animals as their feed anyway. But if you look up the reality of fish farming, it is disgusting. And they dye the color of salmon to make it look how it is on the shelves. That is not the natural color of salmon. But please check out Seaspiracy and you can see exactly what happens to salmon in those situations. The amount of times I've answered the plants have feelings question, I'm not going to do it again. Emma put, I don't like sausages anymore since I found out that the outcome bit is a bloody pig in testing. I mean, sausages are absolutely disgusting when you think about what they are, but when you think about what that product is, that is a pig. That is an animal, a pig at 6 months old, that gets forced into a gas chamber that gets lowered into CO2 gas. The pig then suffers, it burns from the insides, their lungs burn, their eyes burn, and eventually they suffocate to death. All of that for a sausage, when you can just have vegan sausages or something else. You don't have to pay for baby animals to be gassed to death. If you're against gas chambers, if you're against slaughterhouses, you have to be vegan. Matthew, I'd love to do activism with you. I'd love to do activism with you too, and Jake as well. It'd be great to meet you guys. I don't know where you're based, but yeah, would love to meet up. I won't lie to you, but I really do actually like the fake meat, and that's not being rude. I don't know what it's called. I mean, yeah, there's lots of different brands of the alternative meats. Some of the supermarket owned, like Asda or Lidl's own, but some of them are more branded products like Meatless Farm or This Isn't. Trying to think of some others, but yeah, so some of the other ones are based. Yeah, they could be produced at the supermarkets themselves, so you can get a variety, and they're often cheap as well. If you get the supermarkets own, they're pretty cheap as well. And they're really good, like Lidl's range at the moment, by the way, incredible. They've got a whole meat-free section. They've got like meat-free chicken bits, they've got falafels, they've got burgers, they've got sausages, they've got loads of stuff, all vegan. Right, what was your question, Mr. Clean? I'm trying to scroll up for it and I can't find it. Oh, is it about abortion? Because if it is, I'm not going to answer it because it has nothing to do with what I'm speaking up for today. But I'll tell you what is relevant with that question. If you're talking about abortion, you're talking about life, how about we're not killing baby animals? How about we stop killing baby animals? Why do you have canine teeth? Why do hippos have canine teeth? Just because of your teeth doesn't mean you have to kill animals, does it? Veal is good. So you like killing baby cows, do you? You like killing baby cows? But also, talking about canines, if you look at the physiology of our jaws, we are much more aligned to herbivores than carnivores. Carnivores' teeth, they clench up and down. Herbivores move side to side like grinding. That's what our teeth do. And also our intestines are built more like herbivores, not like carnivores. So yeah, look at other animals in the animal kingdom that have canines and are herbivorous. So it's a complete irrelevant argument. And even if because we have canines, oh, you think we should eat meat? We don't need to. We don't need to exploit them. So why would we? If I'm vegan, can I eat milk? I mean, I don't know how you eat milk. You can drink milk. You can drink plant-based milks. There's so many options now when you go to your supermarkets of all the different plant milks. So you can have oat milk, soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, macadamia milk, pea milk, hazelnut milk. There's abundance of different milks out there. Why would you want to choose the milk that comes from another species? We're the only species that drinks another species' milk. And also, we're the only species that drinks milk post-infancy. Why? We don't need to drink milk. And if you think, oh, because it's calcium, you get calcium from vegetables. You don't need to consume milk. Emma comment, Alex, I will tell you one thing though, since I've been watching you today, I actually have a lot of respect for you. And I actually think I am quite a decent person. Thank you, I appreciate that comment. I know, all I'm doing is speaking up for animals. Eric, almond milk is actually pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what, yeah, people have taste preferences. Some people like almonds, some people don't. You know, most people in the UK drink oat milk as an alternative milk. Even people that aren't vegan will drink oat milk because it tastes better and the fact that it tastes better in their stomach. So like 60 to 70% of the population are lactose intolerant. So and the reason is because we're not a baby cow. It's not because we're lactose intolerant, it's because cows that produce milk to grow their baby cows into big cows isn't suitable for humans, and that's why so many people are lactose intolerant. You can't milk an oat, you melt. Yes, you can have oat milk. Of course you can have oat milk. You don't milk them like you would milk a cow, obviously. You just oat some water and you can make some milk. Wow, Mr. Clean, you're going fishing later, then going deer hunting. You're a vile, vile person. After everything you've heard today, after everything you've heard, you have no compassion. You have no compassion. If you thrive off hunting baby animals and innocent animals, you have no compassion. And I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for people that are around you. If that's how you treat others, if that's how you treat innocent people, you think it's funny to go and kill and abuse innocent animals? That's disgusting. So if you haven't already, please do double tap the screen and like this video. It massively helps get this video shown to more people. And please do subscribe to this channel. I often do live streams. I'll be doing another live again next week, potentially outside a slaughterhouse, as I've done many already. So please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Emma's comment, Alex, I drink about 3 monsters in a day. Is that bad? I mean, I am not not going to comment on the consumption of energy drinks. I can't imagine 3 a day is very good for you. It's probably a lot of caffeine and sugar. But you know, which I think Monster energy drinks are vegan, from an ethical perspective, I don't have a problem with it because you're not consuming animal products or paying for animals to die. But from a health perspective, I probably wouldn't have 3 a day. Thanks, Zifa. God bless you, Alex, and your hard work. Yeah, appreciate your comments. Hey, if we all went vegan, we'd run out of drinkable water. What do you think the biggest use of water is in the world? Animal agriculture. Of course, animal agriculture, water, if you look at, there's a comparison of all the different plant milks. It's a really good example as we've been talking about milks. When you get a chart of water use and land use of dairy milk compared to oat, soy and almond, it is drastic. Thousands and thousands of litres are used just to make one burger. Think of how many showers and baths that is just to make a burger. Sorry, I've just scrolled to the bottom of the chat. Sorry if I've missed anything. If I've missed any of the recent comments in the last couple of minutes, I've just scrolled to the bottom, so feel free to repost them. But yeah, in this video description, there is a link to Seaspiracy. Please go and watch it later. Please go and watch it later. You'll understand exactly why I'm speaking up on behalf of the fish today. And also there's a 3-minute movie. Hello?
Are you live?
I am at the moment, yeah.
On TikTok?
YouTube.
Can I follow you?
Yeah, I mean, my YouTube's alex.activism. Yeah, I've been live for just over 2 hours, so you can always watch it back later.
How is it?
It's alex.activism.
Capital
Yeah, I don't know if that matters, but yeah, should just be, if you type in Alex Activism, you can find it.
Alex.
Activism.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Right, cheers.
Someone's put, Jasmine wants Alex's Instagram. So all my Instagram social media is at alex.activism. Oh, thanks Jasmine for putting it in. Yeah, alex.activism. Also my links are all in the video description. If you go to the link tree, you can see all the different links there of my other social media channels as alex.activism. So yeah, if you've got genuine questions after this live stream, drop me a DM on Instagram. You know, I'd be more than happy to talk about specific topics, and especially Eric, you know, that'd be great if we could have a chat later. And anyone else that's got genuine questions, please do, yeah, please do drop me a question. Where's your compassion for the plants and insects? It's probably been the most common thing people mention today is about bloody plants. Plants don't feel pain. Plants don't have sentientism. They don't have pain receptors. They don't have central nervous systems. Plants don't feel pain. Plants don't feel pain. I don't know how many times I have to say it in a day. Plants don't feel pain. Animals do. Animals do. What the hell is legumes? So, I mean, look up, yeah, legumes, beans, they are great sources of nutrients, protein, and make really good, yeah, really good dishes, curries. Yeah, legumes are great if you're not already consuming them. Beans, legumes, very healthy for you. Stephanie Hoy, you have no respect for other cultures. What do you mean by that? What am I disrespecting of other cultures? Emma, can I ask you something? Yeah, please do. David. Honestly, plants don't have feelings. And even if they did, it's a reason for being vegan. Willie, I'll be chatting with you, Alex. Thank you. Yeah, please do. You know, drop any messages in my inbox. So there's a couple of people who said questions. Stephanie, you're not saying how I'm disrespecting cultures. Oh, here we go. Inuit and Yupik people have traditionally consumed a diet primarily composed of animal sources, including fish. The diet is adapted to harsh Arctic climate. Are you in the harsh Arctic climate, Stephanie? Are you in the harsh Arctic climate? Are you there right now? Commenting on a live video on YouTube? Are you in the Arctic climate? Surviving in the harsh climate? Now, are you, I'm asking you, Stephanie, are you in the Arctic climate struggling for food? Are you, Stephanie? All you people that are commenting on this live stream on YouTube, when you most likely have access to a supermarket and you most likely have access to food sources, you have a choice. It's not about privilege, because plant-based foods in theory are cheaper on average, 30% cheaper in a weekly food shop. So it's not about money. We're talking about us with the capacity to have choices. We're not talking about people in survival situations. We're talking about people that have the situations and the necessity to choose. Like you, Stephanie. What do you want me to talk about them? What do you want me to say? Emma, since last year I've been getting really funny with my meat. I found myself not eating lamb and chicken because it's always in my mind. I can't eat what's on the bone. Yeah, a lot of people have that. A lot of people realise when they, you know, they're eating these products and they have bones, it puts them off, because you're making that connection that these were once a living being. A chicken, that's chicken's bones. That's their bones you're eating and you're consuming their flesh. So it's no wonder that you're getting funny about it, because that's a natural reaction, because you're eating flesh, you're eating body parts. So you don't need to continue doing that. People in modern Western cultures must not forget history. His ancestors would have died without eating flesh. Did you know that the gladiators were predominantly vegetarian as well? There's a study about the gladiators. That's an interesting one to look up. But also, yeah, I mean, as I said, ancestors may have eaten meat, nowhere near the amount that people are eating today. But also, the fact that I used to eat meat. Yeah, I did used to eat meat, but I now know what we do to animals and I know it's wrong, and I've made a change, and I'm living and I'm thriving. So we're not in survival situations. We have a choice, and we have a moral agency to make decisions that are compassionate. I hate meat, it makes me gag and sad. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the eyes of cows going through slaughterhouse trucks going into a slaughterhouse, it's awful. It is horrendous to watch those animals where they're seeing their last moments on this planet. They're seeing the sun and the grass for the last time before they're brutally shot in the head and have their throats sliced for the sake of a meal that we don't need to eat. David, I appreciate your passion and empathy. Thanks, I mean, but we need more people to realise and be the passion and compassion that people have for some animals. We want people to have that same compassion for other animals. People love cats and dogs as pets, but they're paying for pigs to be put into gas chambers. But morally, they don't have differences. Morally, they're the same. All animals have sentience and deserve to live. Yeah, Jake, thanks for that. Yeah, look up veganic farming. Yeah. Meat daddying. We'll start a barbecue at your next protest. You know, good luck. Good luck with that. Is this really the biggest problem in your life? It's not the biggest problem in just my life. This is the biggest problem in all of our lives. If you think of the volume of animals that are being killed every single day around the world, every year we kill 92 billion land animals and trillions of fish. There is no greater oppression than the volume of animals that we kill for food, for clothing, for entertainment, and for testing. There's no greater exploitation than that. Please watch the 3-minute video in this video description, and watch The Land of Hope and Glory, watch Earthlings, and watch Dominion. Go and watch them, because you will have your lives changed. Vegan nuggets, £2.50, normal nuggets. Yeah, so a lot of the meat industry is subsidised by the government as well. We are paying our tax money to support animal agriculture and the animal industry. But I tell you what's cheaper than chicken nuggets? Things like beans. You can have beans instead of chicken nuggets. Yeah, Matthew, this is the biggest problem globally. The animal holocaust must end. Have some compassion and thrive by living vegan. 100%. That is exactly it. We should be compassionate to animals. We should be kind to animals.
Are you protesting about this crabbing?
I'm protesting about all animals.
This is just barbaric.
Yeah, all of
Yeah,
it's. I
tell
agree.
everybody.
Are you vegan?
Yes.
You
we
are?
we're
Oh,
vegan.
that's amazing. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's glad that people, because a lot of people will be against some things and then still paying for animals' body parts and eating them.
Yeah.
So that's the hypocrisy. So yeah, I confronted the fishermen coming in earlier, and one of them basically just wanted to punch me in the face, and I got it all in live. So, but so aggressive. They're so aggressive. But that's why I'm live trying to educate the public, and yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, no, thank you for being vegan. It's good to meet you. That was a good interaction. I didn't think they were going to be vegan. That always catches me off. But yeah, brilliant that they are. It looks like a whole family potentially are all vegan. Some of them maybe not, but yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, they're obviously against the crabbing going on, the fishing going on. Yeah, a whole family of vegans. That was brilliant. Really caught me off guard, that. I thought they were going to shout at me for protesting. So yeah, back to the comments. What more questions? I mean, is there anything else left that I haven't spent time talking about today? Is there anything that I haven't acknowledged and addressed? What have I missed? Bruv, why the fish? As in, what? Why am I protesting about the fish? Or they literally are fish. Yeah, they are animals. They are sentient. They want to live. We've got to speak up for them. We don't need to hunt them. We don't need to kill them. We don't need to suffocate them. We don't need to hook them in the throat, punch them in the face, and kill them. We don't need to do any of that, do we? Looks like you're by yourself. Well done. Yeah, I am by myself. Good observational skills. What is it called that you just said, Alex, though I want to watch it? Was it a documentary? I've mentioned Seaspiracy, The Land of Hope and Glory, Earthlings, and Dominion. They are all in this video description. So if you go to the 3 dots and hit description, then you can go and check them out. There should be a link you can copy and paste. But if not, if you go to my link tree, there's all the documentaries linked on there, and they're completely free to watch. Yes, on YouTube. Put in Dominion, watch Dominion YouTube, and it's completely free. Or watch The Land of Hope and Glory, again, completely free to watch. And I highly recommend that everyone watches that. And also, if you've just got 3 minutes for now, go to the link in this description. Go to 3minutes.wtf, 3minutes.wtf, and you can just see exactly what happens in these documentaries in just 3 minutes. And then go and watch those full-length documentaries. Go and watch it in depth, learn, educate, and then speak up. Eric, I'm so happy you found the sites. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much. Yeah, please, I genuinely mean it. Please reach out after you've watched the documentary or before. You know, I'd happily have a conversation with you. I really appreciate you being so open to being on this live stream for so long, and yeah, hopefully you might have learned something. But if there's something that you do have questions about even before watching that footage, yeah, please do drop them in, and as I've been answering so many questions already today. Yeah, so Matthew just put very other good documentary, so Pignorant. So they exposed what happens to pigs in slaughterhouses, in gas chambers, and you can see footage of what happens to these pigs at 6 months old. Emma, bye Alex, I am watching your videos now. Thank you. Yeah, please do subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see more lives going on. And also I'm on Instagram at alex.activism. Again, please do drop me a message. Yeah, hopefully you learn something, but also I want to meet more people and engage in conversation, because we need more people, firstly to be vegan, and then secondly people to speak up for these animals. You don't have to be doing what I'm doing and stood here on your own. There's many ways that you can speak up for animals. You can put stuff online, you can join local group events. You can all do different ways of speaking up for animals being killed, and it's hard to speak up for so many different atrocities that are happening to animals. It's hard to talk about every species and every exploitation that's happening. Today I've chosen to speak up for fish, specifically people that are going out onto fishing boats and hunting them. But the fact that, you know, there's so much exploitation in the food we eat, in animal agriculture, things like leather, the cows being killed, sheep being killed for wool, for leather, for fur. And also, you know, talking about animal testing. We don't need to test on animals, yet thousands and thousands, nearly 3 million animals in the UK are killed every single year in animal testing. And then you have things like entertainment. So, you know, this is a prime example of something that's for entertainment. It's something, yes, it's also that they're probably going to eat them, but they're doing this as a sport. They're doing this for fun. They're going out to catch fish. Sometimes they release them, often they don't, and they kill them. And even if they do release them, they end up dying anyway because of the physical and emotional suffering that they've caused. And other exploitations in terms of entertainment, we're talking about horse racing, talking about greyhound racing, entertainment for zoos, aquariums, circuses. All the ways that we're exploiting animals when we just don't need to. So yeah, because I've read that last question, full-time vocation. Do you mean job? I mean, I'm speaking up for the animals as much as I can throughout the week and at weekends. Like, this is a Sunday afternoon and I'm choosing to spend it speaking up for animals and having conversations with some really good people like who's been in this chat today, to educate them and make them realize that they're compassionate people and you can be compassionate to animals. You don't need to pay for them to be killed. Agreed. Yeah, SeaWorld. Yeah, things like aquariums, like SeaWorld, where, you know, whales, dolphins, they are kept in these tiny, tiny habitats for their whole lives. How miserable would that be? It's just horrendous. And that's what I'm trying to say. There's so many different forms of exploitation, not just the food that we eat, but it's the way we keep animals in captivity. It's the clothing that people wear. All of these exploitations, we need people speaking up about. Speak up for the animals you're passionate about. You know, if you're passionate about SeaWorld, you could, you know, speak up about the atrocities at SeaWorld. You know, I'd like to think that things like SeaWorld will be the next things to completely close down because people realise that it's wrong to do. I have to confess, yeah, and that's, please, I mean, it's not a bad thing, Eric. Like, most people don't realise how bad it is because all of these industries keep it hidden from us. The animal agriculture industry hides what we do to animals. They hide how many we kill, how they kill it. And the idea, you know, if slaughterhouses had glass walls, the world would be vegan because they don't want to show that. They don't do school trips to a slaughterhouse, do they? They hide them specifically for this purpose, to keep us conditioned into eating the food, feeding the profits, and keeping the way that it is. And yeah, Matthew, if you're not vegan, you're on the wrong side of history. Like other forms of injustice in the past, it's in hindsight you'd think, oh yeah, no, they were totally right for speaking up about that. The idea of women's rights, of course, they were totally right to speak up that women should have rights. And slavery, people were totally right for speaking up about how bad slavery was. In the same way that people now will speak up and say, you know, you're totally right about, you know, speaking up on what happens to animals, because we didn't need to do any of that stuff. We didn't need to farm them, enslave them, and kill them. No matter the scale of it, it doesn't need to be done. It's been a while since someone said about halal. I bet you say nothing about halal. What question do you have? Is there a question about halal? Because I'd happily talk about halal. I was at a slaughterhouse just a few days ago, and basically there was a driver that came onto the forecourt and started shouting, saying we should be protesting at a halal slaughterhouse, not the one that we were at. And my simple response is, we should be protesting all of them. We should get them all shut down, because at the end of the day, that animal is being killed, no matter how they're killed, whether they have their throat sliced, whether they're conscious, whether they get bolt gunned first, they're gonna die. So I don't care about how they're killed, because the fact is they're being killed, and that's what I'm speaking up for. Yeah, Jake, thanks for putting that in. And yeah, so Joey Carbstrong has actually recently released a second part, but he did a whole expose on a halal. Bear with. He did a whole expose on a halal slaughterhouse. They put cameras inside, and I mean, watch it. It is absolutely horrendous. It's horrendous what goes on inside a slaughterhouse, halal or non-halal. Yeah, it's on YouTube. If you go check out Joey Carbstrong, you could check out exactly what I've been talking about. So what remaining questions have you got? Are you all vegan now? Hopefully you are. Hopefully you realise that what we do to animals is wrong. Hopefully you realise that we don't need to exploit them. And you could be vegan from today. You could be vegan from right now. This could be your call to action, to be vegan now and to stop exploiting animals for food, for clothing, for entertainment. You can stop it completely. You can be compassionate. You can get the compassion inside of you and show that you're aligned with your actions and your morals, and you can stop paying for animals to die. Don't let these people make this decision for you. Look into the negative side effects yourself. What negative side effects? Because I can tell you there aren't any. There are no negative side effects of being vegan. What you are is you're consistent with your morals in that you want to defend animals and not kill them, but also you'll be far healthier and you'll be better for the environment. I appreciate that, Eric. Thank you. PC, I'm vegan, except I do eat fish. I don't eat meat. You're not vegan. Just putting that out there. You're not vegan if you eat fish. If you eat fish, you're maybe pescatarian, but you're not vegan. Vegans are against any form of animal killing. So you wouldn't eat fish, you wouldn't consume an animal's body parts. Oh, here we go, I'm vegan but I eat meat. Oh, you're just all trolling, aren't you? You all think it's hilarious that we kill animals. You put, what if I hunt my own meat? Well, then you're disgusting. You're a horrible person if you hunt your own meat. You're horrible. How would you go out and shoot and kill an animal, a baby animal? Why would you go and do that? You not got anything better to do? Your morals are yours. Every man does what morals are morals. How would you feel if you were the animal? Would you want someone speaking up for you? Would you want someone shouting and trying to set you free? Yeah, Jasmine's comment. Side effects of being vegan, saving around 100 to 200 animals a year, and if not more. You could save, nearly up to 300 animals, and just try and visualize that in front of you. Visualize 300 animals, and you have the power to not kill them. You have the power to set them free.
Hello, it's me. Hello. I want to be in that famous high.
See you later. People love the camera. So question, do you wear old leather shoes or products with animal derived products before you became vegan? I don't wear I don't wear any animal products. We don't need to wear them, we don't need to show them off, we don't need to we don't need to wear them. Higher risk of cancer. Higher risk of cancer if you eat meat, 100% yeah. If you eat meat, there's a higher risk of cancer. Did you know that processed meats like bacon and ham are classed as a class 1 carcinogen? That is by the World Health Organization. They're a class 1 carcinogen, which means they're directly linked to causing cancer. And the same as cigarettes. They are directly linked to causing cancer. Not probably, directly linked. So if you eat bacon and ham, you're consuming class 1 carcinogens. So I'll say it again, please do check out the link in my video description. If you go to 3minutes.wtf, you can watch a 3-minute movie about what happens to animals. If you've got more time, watch Dominion, watch The Land of Hope and Glory, watch Earthlings. They're all on my link tree. If you go to the 3 dots, go to the video description, and basically you can go and watch those. You watch Seaspiracy as well. Obviously I'm here talking about the fish today and the sea animals. Go and watch Seaspiracy. Also on my link tree you can find all of my social medias, and you can see the other videos that I'm putting out. Often do live videos, live debates. Sorry, it's hard to see all the questions in this chat at the moment. Thanks for the mods that are timing all the trolls out. Appreciate that. I don't mind questions coming in. It's if people are just absolutely spamming the same thing, then got no time for that. But yeah, if you haven't already, please do double tap the screen. It massively helps out the algorithm, or if you like this video. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Subscribe and you can see when I go live again in future. But the fact is, another question about roadkill. I had this question again earlier about what if the animal dies naturally. We need to stop viewing animals in how can we get a benefit from them. You don't need to consume them. You don't need to have this mindset of how can we use them for us. So bubblegum and if a fox is hunting a rabbit, you have a moral obligation to save the rabbit. So, I mean, this is an interesting concept, the idea of what happens in the wild. But the fact is, the bigger question is what are humans doing to animals? And again, I'll go back to my idea of just leave animals alone. If you leave them alone, you'll find that most of these problems will sort themselves out if you just leave animals alone. We should stop exploiting them. We should leave them in their natural habitats like they always were before. We should stop exploiting them. So yeah, please do check out, once more time, check out the video description, hit the 3 dots, copy and paste them, put them into your notes for now. If you copy and paste my whole video description, put them into your notes app, put them on your computer, wherever it is, and go and check out those links another time, because you'll honestly, it will change your life. It will change your life watching those documentaries. Copy and paste all of those links, go and watch Dominion, go and watch Seaspiracy. Sandra, good education to be a vegan is very important. Yeah, absolutely. Education is very important. Being vegan is very important. And we have to speak up for them. So yeah, obviously thank you for all the people that have tuned into the live stream today and supported. It's been an interesting one, but you know, some really good conversations on the chat here. Hopefully people have learnt a lot. I feel like I've talked about a lot of the problems, all of the exploitations of different industries. Of course, the fisherman confrontations earlier, but you never know what impacts you have. You never know what impacts by commenting on live streams, putting videos out there and educating the public. You'll never know what impact you have, but you can have a really positive impression on people. You can get people to go vegan and to support animals and to defend them, and you can get people speaking up for them. So last time I will just say, please go to the video description and copy and paste all of the links, put them in your notes and go and open them another time. Please do subscribe to this channel and tune in. Please tune in to my future live streams. And just reading the last couple of comments. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you so much, Jake. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for all of your comments, and everyone else. Matthew as well. Thank you for all your comments, and people earlier on. It really helpful to debunk a lot of the questions. You know, it's hard for me to respond to every comment, so it really is supportive having you guys on. And yeah, Matthew, hopefully we can do some activism together in the future. I think that'd be cool. I didn't realise you're in the, didn't know where you are in the UK, so I'll have to drop you a message and see, yeah, what we can do together. We've got Project Livestream coming up next week. So yeah, please do subscribe, tune in, and see some more awesome vegan activism. You can be vegan, you can align your values, you can defend animals, you can be compassionate and respect them. You don't need to kill them. You can live vegan, you can live happy, and you can protect animals and be kind to them. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.